Brief announcements. At last meeting, when we passed on first reading my Title VIII bill, I mentioned that I was going to be deferring to hold a series of meetings around the county. Just wanted to give updates that we have those scheduled. Thursday, March 2nd at 6 p.m., we'll have a meeting at the MNPD North Precinct. Saturday, March 4th at noon, we will have a meeting at the West Precinct. March 9th at 6 p.m., we'll be at the Midtown Hills Precinct. Saturday, March 11th at noon, we'll be at South Precinct. Those will be our meetings for the next couple of weeks, and I'll be updating at the next meeting, the next set of meetings. So I look forward to healthy conversations. We'll have representatives from the Health Department, Metro Animal Care Control there to discuss any other ways that we can update our animal code to improve the system. Thank you.
All right, I assume everyone else is in committee meetings, and we do have one presentation, and Councilwoman Stiles is on her way in. I see her walking through the door. So we'll wait a few minutes for her to get ready. All right, as Councilwoman Stiles is headed to the back to start her presentation, I do have a District 2 announcement. The monthly District 2 community meeting will be on Tuesday, February 28th at 6 p.m. North Precinct, same location in the community room. There will be several rezoning presentations: 0 Ewing Drive, 3900 Heights Ferry, 2619 Old Buena Vista Road, 2140 Buena Vista Pike, as well as discussion of contextual overlays. I have filed applications for 3 contextual overlays: Brooklyn Heights, Haynes Manor, and Gold Coast. There will also be someone present to discuss a historical overlay for the information of community members. I've also filed a couple of applications for historical overlays as well. So once again, Tuesday, February 28th, 6 p.m., North Precinct in the community room. And there will be another District 2 community meeting on March 6th, which is a Monday at 6:30 p.m., same location, North Precinct Community Room. And now I will turn it over to Councilwoman Stiles, before you start, I'm going to let Councilwoman Porterfield do her announcement. Councilwoman Porterfield.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to thank all the District 29 neighbors that came out to the virtual community meeting with MDHA on February the 16th, as well as the Edge of Lake Traffic Common meeting that happened on I forgot the date, but thank you for the residents that came to that. And I did want to make sure that residents remembered that we have an upcoming community meeting on February the 27th at 6:30 p.m. at the Smith Springs Community Center. We will have a presentation from MNPD. We will have a presentation from NDOT. I know there's some questions and concerns about what's happening on Edge of Lake with the street improvements and sidewalks. So we will have a presentation there. We're also going to get some feedback on how to spend the $3,000 for our beautification project, as well as the property owner of 3116 Blue Water Way and 3230 Blue Water Trace would like to hear community feedback on the proposal for 19 homes. So again, that meeting will be February the 27th at 6:30 p.m. at the Smith Springs Community Center. I hope that you all can make it. And if it has not already been announced, I also wanted to announce the Minority Caucus reception. Hopefully it's already been announced a few times, but that will be this Thursday. The keynote speaker, Senator Ramesh Akbari from District 29, not here in Nashville, but District 29 for the state of Tennessee. And that will be Thursday the 23rd at Belmont University from 5:30 to 7:30. This event is absolutely free, and we hope people from the community come out to attend. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilwoman Stiles, you have the floor.
Thank you so very much, Pro Tem. So this evening, we are going to be presenting a resolution for Pastor Randall Cordell, who is the pastor of Lakeshore Christian Church, very popular and super helpful church in the Southeast. Pastor Cordell has been there when we've had apartment fires, tornado relief. Most recently, during the power outages during the Christmas break, he opened his doors so that anyone that didn't have any power and didn't have any heat, they could come to the church and they could get something to eat. And he never says no. He is always there. He is always available. And so we just wanted to celebrate him tonight and the work that he's done. So, resolution number RS 2023-2007, a resolution recognizing Pastor Randall Cordell's 30 years of service at Lakeshore Christian Church. Whereas the Lakeshore Christian Church congregation began in 1974, and whereas Pastor Randy Cordell and his family came to serve with Lakeshore on March 3rd, 1991, and
whereas Pastor Cordell graduated from Atlanta Christian College, now Point University, in 1980, and also studied at the University of Georgia, West Georgia College, and the Beeson Institute for Advanced Church Leadership. And whereas prior to his service at Lakeshore Christian, Pastor Cordell served churches in Alabama and Georgia, and
whereas during Pastor Cordell's 30-plus years of leadership, the Lakeshore Christian Antioch congregation experienced tremendous growth with his initial service of 46 worshipers in 1991, and
whereas the original church building located on Anderson Road expanded 3 separate times until no further growth was possible. By 2007, the congregation totaled approximately 400, and the need for more physical space sparked a search for a new property. And
And whereas the congregation purchased 7.75 acres of land on Bell Forge Lane East in Antioch, and after extensive property renovations, the first service was held on Easter Sunday, 2009, and whereas further congregation growth created the need for a second campus, which was opened in Smyrna, Tennessee in 2018, and
whereas through Pastor Cordell's leadership, the Lakeshore Ministry has baptized more than 1,000 believers in Christ and developed 14 ministers who have been called to serve other congregations all over the country, including Idaho, Oregon, Illinois, Iowa, Oklahoma, Indiana, Kentucky, and many here in Tennessee. And
whereas Pastor Cordell has consistently dedicated his time and energy to the community, opening his doors to help with food and clothing drives after the 2020 tornado during the COVID-19 pandemic, and most recently during the 2022 holiday power outages, and
whereas Pastor Cordell and his wife, Sue Ann, have 2 children, Heather and Bobby, and 7 grandchildren, Randy, Riley, Rowan, Claire, Jackson, Anderson, and Eden, and where it is fitting and proper that the Metropolitan Council recognizes Pastor Randy Cordell for his many years of faithful and dedicated service at Lakeshore Christian Church.
now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County that the Metropolitan County Council hereby goes on record as recognizing Pastor Randall Cordell's 30 years of service at Lakeshore Christian Church. This resolution shall take effect from and after its adoption, the welfare of the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County requiring it.
Thank you, Council Lady Stiles. I appreciate all the work that you do, everyone that participated in this. So thankful for all the council members and all the service that you perform here in Nashville. And I'm just thankful for a church that put up with me now for over 30 years. And I'm off to a good start for the next 30. So thank you so much. I'm very honored. Thank you.
come over this way for me.
And as Council Lady Stiles is gathering us for the pictures, I did want to make sure to acknowledge that Pastor Cordell is a District 29 resident. So thank you, Pastor.
While they are taking pictures, we'll move on to additional council member announcements. Councilwoman Virtue, did you have an announcement?
I got one.
Am I on?
You're
Oh,
on.
okay. I want to announce this upcoming Saturday, there's a District 28 community meeting this Saturday, February 25th. That's 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. at Apollo Middle School, 631 Richards Road. This is a meeting to provide community updates and discuss requests for rezonings and meet our new state senators and representatives. Representatives from Codes and Metro Police Department will also be available to provide updates on neighborhood enforcement. This is a very important meeting. Please share with your neighbors, and I hope you'll make plans to attend. And as always, in the fine District 28 for our meetings, light breakfast will be served. This tomorrow, Piccadilly Road, Traffic Common Meeting number 2. This is a virtual meeting. NDOT has mailed notices to all affected homeowners. Again, this is Piccadilly Road, Traffic Common Meeting number 2 at 6:30 p.m. This is a virtual meeting. NDOT has mailed notices to all affected homeowners. If you're a homeowner in Piccadilly, you can also reach out to the HOA or myself to get that link so you can access the virtual meeting. Also, save the date. This is the 19th annual Southeast Egg Hunt and Festival, and I'm so proud to have been part of it for all these many years. It is Saturday, March 25th, 2023, from 10 a.m. To 2 p.m. at our Southeast Community Center. Again, the save the date, this is our 19th Southeast Egg Hunt and Festival. This is the staple event for Southeast, and that's Saturday, March 25th, 2023, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at our Southeast Community Center. And that concludes my announcements. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Councilmember Van Rees.
Yes, ma'am. I just have one thing to remind folks. Tomorrow morning, the Metro Nashville Public Schools are inviting us to attend an honorary street dedication ceremony to honor the life and legacy of Lonnie Sadler, Sr. It's tomorrow morning at Madison Middle School Gymnasium. The road connecting the middle school, the former high school, and the elementary school will be named after Lonnie Sadler. And we'll be there celebrating his life and legacy. The students will also be there and performing. It'll be very exciting. If you can, arrive by 9:15 tomorrow morning. The ceremony begins at 9:30, and it will last about an hour. So please join us at the Madison Middle School gym tomorrow. And if you can't, tomorrow, please be mindful as you pass through on Old Hickory Boulevard and look for Lonnie Sadler. Thank you.
Councilman Sledge.
Thank you, Madam Pro Tem. Just one thing for District 17. Edge Hill and Metro Planning Department are kicking off the Edge Hill neighborhood plan development. Basically, the first of many meetings over the next 6 months is going to be Tuesday, February 28th, meaning a week from today, 5:30 to 7 at Easley Community Center at Rose Park. That's 1000 Edge Hill Avenue. Again, next Tuesday, the 28th, from 5:30 to 7 is the kickoff for the Edge Hill community planning process with a community listening session. Thank you.
Councilwoman Gamble.
Thank you, Madam Pro Tem. I want to make sure everyone is aware of a community meeting planned for March 2nd to discuss a community plan amendment to the Bordeaux-Whites Creek community plan for areas near Old Hickory Boulevard and I-24. Again, that meeting will be held on March 2nd at 6 p.m. at Whites Creek High School. And of course, all community members are invited and encouraged to attend. Thank you.
Councilwoman Stiles.
Thank you, Pro Tem. 3 announcements. The first is our monthly community meeting is going to be tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. We're moving it up one day this month. It will be at the Southeast Community Center starting at 6 p.m. We have some updates, community safety, some updates from NDOT, Metro Water, and also an update on a rezone for 538 Bell Road. I hope we will see all of our District 32 residents in attendance. Then on Thursday, just to reiterate, we do have our minority caucus reception that will be at Belmont in the Janet Ayers conference room on the 4th floor. Hope to see everyone there as well. And on Monday, District 32 residents, we're having a celebration, a party, kickoff for re-election campaign at Maria Bonita, which is 895 Bell Road from 5:30 to 7:30. Thank you, Pro Tem.
Are there any other Councilman Rutherford?
Thank you, Madam Pro Tem. I have 3 quick announcements of upcoming meetings for District 31. Tomorrow, February 22nd, at the Cane Ridge Community Club, Metro Parks and NDOT will be meeting with us to discuss changes coming to Culbertson Road and the adjacent greenway. And then also on Monday, February 27th at 6:30, also at the Cane Ridge Community Club, there is a meeting regarding a proposed development at 6431 Pettis Road, known as the Carter Waller Properties. And then lastly, Tuesday, February 28th at 6:30 at the Village Church will be a community meeting regarding development at the property are located at 7088 Burkett Road. And again, that one is at Village Church on the 28th. Thank you.
Councilman Hager.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. I've got a meeting Thursday night on the 2411 Lakeshore Drive property, RS5 to SP. We were supposed to have it last Thursday because of storms. We had to postpone it to this Thursday. So this will be at 6 p.m. Thursday evening at the Old Hickory Community Center on Donaldson Avenue. Thank you.
Are there any other council member announcements? All right, I don't see any additional hands, and looks like About half of us are in here, so I'm going to assume there are no more announcements, so that ends the announcement period.
Tonight's meeting of the Metropolitan Nashville and Davidson County Council has come to you live from the council chambers at the historic Metro Courthouse. It's a public affairs presentation of the Metro Nashville Network. Good evening, everyone. I'm Pat Nolan, your announcer for this program. Tonight, the 15th Metropolitan Council holds its 83rd business meeting of a four-year term. This is the fourth council meeting of 2023. Tonight's council agenda is just over 41 pages long, containing 102 items. That includes a regular public comment period and an additional public comment period tonight for those who have signed up to briefly, within a 2-minute period, give their thoughts and ideas and comments on the upcoming Metro operating budget to be considered by the council this spring and summer. Vice Mayor Jim Schulman is allocating up to 2 hours for this comment period if needed. About 30-plus people have signed up, so probably won't need the whole 2 hours, but we'll use at least half of it. Council will also consider 4 resolutions on public hearing tonight, 25 regular resolutions, 9 bills on first reading, 19 second reading measures, and 44 ordinances on third and final reading. Council will also consider 6 appointments or reappointments by Mayor John Cooper to 3 Metro boards and commissions. Those include 3 appointments to the Agricultural Extension Board, 2 reappointments to the Metro Emergency Communication District Board, and an appointment to the Transportation Licensing Board. All those confirmed will serve multi-year terms as unpaid volunteers. Among resolutions, the one with the highest profile tonight is RS 2023-1978. It is Mayor Cooper's $480+ million capital spending plan with a focus on building and renovating several schools, public safety projects including a new juvenile justice center and a new campus for the juvenile justice center, and also a new fire department headquarters. By rule, the council deferred this matter at its last meeting for further study. Already at-large member Bob Mendez says the council should cut out the $5 million in funding to begin planning for various projects on the East Bank where the new Titans Roof Stadium will be. Mendez, who opposes the stadium project, says it's premature to approve those funds before the stadium itself is approved. Council members Sean Parker and Emily Benedict have similar resolutions to cut out some of the East Bank funds, although Parker's amendment says money that's not directly related to, under his amendment, not directly related to building the stadium would still be allowed to go forward. Council Lady Benedict is offering an amendment to delete $1 million for planning for the PTA gun range and delete a $4 million for a barn for the Metro Police Mounted Patrol. Councilmember Benedict also wants to add almost $29 million to the plan for funds for a new branch library in Inglewood. 3 other financial resolutions are on the agenda after being deferred at the last meeting. One is RS 2023-1979. It would deauthorize over $2.4 million in general obligation bonds because the projects they funded came in under budget. Under RS 2023-1980, it would approve a supplemental appropriation in the amount of almost $89 million to various city agencies. These are routine carryovers of funds from one fiscal year to the other. Finally, RS 2023-1981 appropriates almost $16.8 million from the city's 4% equipment and repair fund for 19 different city departments to pay for approved projects. Under RS 2023-2015, the council would accept on behalf of the city's General Sessions Court a $300,000 grant from the state to provide mental health court program services to enable the establishment of an adult mental health court program and treatment services for nonviolent offenders. I don't know if this is related to the rough winter we've had on our roads, but RS 2023-2025 would approve an agreement with TDOT to repair existing pavement failures and resurfacing 0.66 miles of Old Hickory Boulevard from the bridge over I-40 to Bell Road. The total cost estimate is $717,600. 75% of that, or $583,200, would be funded by TDOT, and the 25%, or about $779,400, would be funded by NDOT, Nashville's Transportation Department. In the area of bike lanes, RS 2023-2029 would approve a 50-50 application to Bloomberg Philanthropies. The funds, $800,000 each from Metro and the state, would go for consultant and technical assistance, finding creative services to deliver safer, more comfortable bike lanes. The bike lanes would be located between 12th Avenue South and 14th Avenue South, connecting the Demumbry Hill Bikeway project. Again, this is an application for such a grant. Under 2023-20 under RS 2023-2033, the council would urge the Tennessee General Assembly to pass House Bill 304 and Senate Bill 200 to require that certain establishments that serve alcohol maintain at least one dose of Naxalon hydrochloride, a nasal spray, on its premises. This can help save lives in case of an overdose of drugs. On memorializing resolutions tonight, the council will honor the life of beloved civic leader Abby Poster, recognize Phil and Dot Ponder on their 90th birthdays, and recognize Fisk University as being named HBCU of the Year at the Black Sports Business Symposium. On second reading, BL 2023-1690 would set up a permit program along with rules and regulations and fees for parklets and streeteries in Davidson County. A parklet is defined as a small gathering place occupying 2 parking stalls or a loading zone on a public street, treated in all respects as a public sidewalk, but facilities which are privately owned or maintained. A streetery is defined as up to 2 parking stalls or a loading zone, used either as an extension or a standalone sidewalk cafe, connected visually to and used by patrons of the nearby restaurant or bar service, at which all terms and conditions for a nearby restaurant or food service in terms of their permits and alcohol license still apply. Who knew? Just in case you were wondering what that bill was about tonight on the council's agenda. On third reading under BL 2022-1471, the council will again consider final approval of an ordinance that amends the definition of a dwelling unit and family under the city's zoning code. When this was passed on second reading a few meetings ago, you could tell the council had several concerns about it. There are several amendments being proposed tonight. Most seek to amend the number of unrelated people who can live in the same house. The bill would set that limit at 7. Amendments are before the council tonight that would change that down to 3, 4, or 5. The planning committee, we understand, has recommended that 5 be the number in terms of how many people can live in one house. Whatever happens to these amendments tonight, the bill itself will require 21 votes to pass. If you want to follow tonight's council meeting as it progresses, you can find the agenda and staff analysis online. Just go to the Metro Council portion of the Nashville.gov website, then on to the Legislative Information Center. We'll also be placing the bill numbers on the screen when they come up for consideration so you can follow along and keep up with where we are on the meeting agenda. Let's go now to Vice Mayor Jim Shulman. He'll be gathering tonight's meeting into order shortly.
Proceed ahead 3 times. Very good. All right, thank you. Okay, stay right here. Don't move from it. Will the meeting please come to order? We welcome you to the Metro Council. Today is Tuesday, February 21st, 2023. Will all members of the council, as well as the public, please rise for the invocation, remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Invocation tonight is brought to us by Pastor Don Bennett of the Table, a guest of Councilmember Bob Mendez.
Good evening. Thank you, Councilman Mendez, for the invitation to offer the invocation this evening. Vice Mayor Schulman and the esteemed Metro Nashville City Council members, and to you, the residents of our fine city, it's my honor to be among you tonight. For those who are not of a praying tradition, please know that your presence here is honored tonight. May we who are here take pause with you as we acknowledge that our prosperity is bound up together. For those who are of a praying tradition, I invite you to join with me now. Holy One, known by many names and beyond all names, Spirit of life, Spirit of love, Spirit of community, Spirit of justice, thank you for this day, for its blessings, its opportunities, its challenges. We pray for your presence to hover over our Nashville city as we look to you for our continued strength to rise each day. We ask your blessings on the people gathered here who have been called to lead the city in which we live and work and play. May they who hold power understand that it is a trust from you to be used for the services of all people. It is through grace that I ask your blessing on our public leaders, that they may do their work in a spirit of wisdom, equity, and charity. Help them use their authority to serve faithfully and to promote our common life. Help them to practice a humility toward one another, trusting that where there is imbalance, you will aid them to bring about justice. Direct us all to be wise citizens who act with dignity and integrity in our public discourse. Holiest of holies, may your presence accompany each speaker and elected official here tonight, because we all forget from time to time, especially in the noisiness of what passes for political debate today, that they are not only leaders but also servants, and that it is their responsibility and ours to serve the common good of all. Remind them that no matter where we live, everyone, gay, straight, transgender, black or white, Hispanic or Asian, Muslim, Jew, Hindu, Sikh or atheist, is our neighbor and our sibling. Throughout the ages, prophets have called the leaders of the people to respect and protect the least of those among us, our children, the elderly, the poor, those who are afflicted by food and housing insecurity, those who are ill in body, mind, and spirit, the strangers and immigrants in our midst, and those who live on the margins. We pray, therefore, that you grant our leaders and us the wisdom and the courage to know and to do what is right and good and true. May they and we speak when it is time to speak out, and listen patiently and receptively when it is time to listen. May they and we always be guided by the spirit of community, the spirit of justice, and by the spirit of love. This we pray in the name of all that we hold right and true and sacred. May it be so. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Y'all may be seated. The individual who banged the gavel tonight is Michael Ledford. He goes to DuPont Middle School, and you're in 6th grade? He's in 6th grade, and I think he did a mighty fine job. Please join me in thanking him. All right, without objection, we will suspend the calling of the roll and ask the clerk to record the names of those members present throughout the meeting. Is there a motion for adoption of the minutes of the meeting from February 7th, 2023? See a motion properly seconded. Without objection, the minutes of the meeting will stand approved as written. Mr. Clerk, any messages from the mayor?
There are no messages from the mayor.
All right. Okay, Okay, a couple things to note for tonight. First of all, we have former Mayor Bill Purcell and his class, his public advocacy class from Vanderbilt. I think they're way in the back. If you all don't mind standing up so we can recognize you. There you are. I gave them a 15-minute quick lecture on what to expect tonight, so you all, bless their hearts. I like that. So you all follow the procedures that I told you all about before. All right. Just a couple things. One is to keep you updated on the proposed legislation pending before the state legislature regarding the size of this body. That bill, House Bill 48, Senate Bill 87, is in the House Finance Committee. On the House side, it was deferred today for 1 week, so it'll come up next Tuesday. The bill passed through the Senate, state, and local government today with one amendment on it, and will proceed to the Senate Finance, Ways and Means Committee also next week. All right. I think you'll probably hear more information from us this week, but that tells you kind of where the bills are. The other bills have not, some of the other bills that you may be interested in or have not been put on notice yet, so we're waiting for those. Our thoughts and prayers go out to the family of former President Jimmy Carter as he enters his last stage of life in hospice care at his home. The president, along with Mrs. Carter, were here a couple of year ago working on, and they've been here many times working on Habitat for Humanity homes. What a great person. Whether you liked him or not as president, he's just a really, really good person and has done some remarkable things in his life. He said, this is a quote from him, "I have one life and one chance to make it count for something. My faith demands that I do whatever I can, wherever I am, whenever I can, for as long as I can, with whatever I have to try to make a difference." Well, he has certainly made a difference in his life. We continue to see some serious violent crime in Nashville. I think all we can do is keep hoping for better things for people's safety. As I've said since the start of the war in Ukraine, please remember those individuals in that country. Also remember as well people around the world, including here in this country, that are in need. And remember especially the people of Turkey and Syria who have been just completely devastated by that series of earthquakes. Anyway, a lot of really sad things going on around the world. We are ready to start. Councilmember Rosenberg, I'm going to come to you for a report from elections and confirmations.
Thank you, Mr. President. We had the Agricultural Extension Board appointments of Mr. Jim Barnes for a term expiring on February 1st, 2026, Ms. Joan Clayton Davis for a term expiring on February 1st, 2026, and Mr. Reginald Marshall for a term expiring on August 31st, 2026. The Emergency Communication District Board reappointments of Ms. Cleo Duckworth and Mr. William H. Johnson Jr., each for a term expiring on February 4th, 2027. And the Transportation Licensing Commission appointment of Mr. Michael Santasteven for a term expiring on January 31st, 2024. We voted 4 in favor, none against on all of them, and I move for approval of all 6.
All of them. Okay. So all of them got through?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. All right. So I've got a motion to approve all of these appointments and reappointments that are on elections and confirmations, properly seconded. Any discussion on the motion to approve? Not you. Not you, Lisa. Yeah. IT. Any discussion? Tells me who's picking the names. Okay. All right. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none. All those in favor of the motion say aye. Opposed, no. You adopt. So if I can get these individuals to stand up and be recognized, just when I call your name, stands up. All right. Well, okay. Sit back down. Okay, I'm going to call you one at a time. If you'll stand up and remain standing, then we can recognize you. Mr. Jim Jigger Barnes for the Agriculture Extension Board. There he is. Joan Clayton Davis for the Agriculture Extension Board. Reginald Marshall for the Agricultural Extension Board. Cleo Duckworth for the Emergency Communications District Board. Mr. William H. Johnson Jr. for the Emergency Communications District Board. And Mr. Michael Santis-Steven for the Transportation Licensing Commission. There they are. Thank you all for being willing to serve. We appreciate your commitment to the city. Hold on just a second. We're having a small temporary technical difficulty. Got it. Thank you. All right, we are ready to go. We have a couple things. We have a public comment period and a pre-budget public comment period. But there has been a request that we take up the resolutions on public hearing first because we have people here for those. Is there any objection if we take up those four and get those through? Any objection on that? Without objection, we will do that. So, ladies and gentlemen, what we're doing is we have a public comment period and a pre-budget public comment period. I know many of you are here for that pre-budget public comment period. We have Section H, which is resolutions on public hearing. We're going to take those four up. It shouldn't take that long, so we can let those individuals, if they're here, they can, after the resolution is heard, they can go home. Then we'll come back to the other comment periods. I will say before we start that we do have Spanish interpretation services available. Mr. Javier Brau-Mueller is here. Mr. Brau-Mueller, if you will come up to the back microphone and just explain in Spanish what you might be able to be assistance with, that would be wonderful.
Good evening. My name is Javier Lynch. I'm a Spanish interpreter, and I'll be assisting people with inquiries, questions, and answers. En español. Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Javier Lynch, soy intérprete español y voy a estar asistiendo a las personas que tengan cualquier pregunta para hacer.
All right, thank you. All right, we are now ready for resolutions on public hearing. That's on page 2 of your agenda. We have 4 tonight. Here's how that works. I will call it the resolutions one at a time and refer to the sponsor. Unless the sponsor moves to defer the public hearing, the sponsor will call for a public hearing. I will then ask for a show of hands for those who are here in favor of the resolution. I ask for a show of hands for those who are here in opposition to the resolution. If anyone in favor of the measure wishes to speak, I'll ask you to come forward, find that microphone right there in the back, introduce yourself and give us your address. You'll have 2 minutes in which to speak. Then ask if anyone opposed wishes to speak. We'll do the exact same thing on that side. After that process, I will close the public hearing and refer back to the sponsor. All right, we are ready to move with the first measure. It is item number 1 on your agenda. It's RS 2023-2011 by Councilmember Cash. It's a resolution exempting Hearts, located at 2701B 12th Avenue South, from the minimum distance requirements for obtaining a beer permit. Councilmember Cash, you are recognized on the first resolution.
Request the opening of the public hearing.
I think I've got a Government Operations Committee report first. Councilmember Benedict, you're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. This passed committee 5 in favor, 0 against.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Benedict. Councilmember Cash, going to open up the public hearing. A show of hands of those who are here in favor of this resolution. All right, thank you. A show of hands of those who are here in opposition to the resolution. Don't see anybody in opposition. Those in favor wish to speak? Nope, you good? All right, declare the public hearing closed. Councilmember Cash, you're recognized.
Move approval.
Got a motion to approve RS 2023-2011, properly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of the resolution say aye. Opposed, no. You adopt. We're on item number 2, RS 2023-2012, by Councilmember O'Connell, resolution exempting Frankie J's located at 1314 6th Avenue North from the minimum distance requirements for obtaining a beer permit. Councilmember O'Connell, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to make sure we get the procedure right here. I know we have a committee report, but I've also got a late filed amendment, so just let me know the order in which I might need to suspend the rules here.
Let's get the committee report first. Go ahead and if you want to go ahead and have the public hearing after and then do the amendments, that would be good.
Sure.
All right. Committee reports. Councilmember Benedict, you recognize government operations.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. The committee passed this bill with the late filed amendment, 5 in favor, 0 against.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember O'Connell, you recognize.
All right, thanks. Let's open the public hearing and we'll come back and do the amendments.
Okay, declare the public hearing. We're on RS 2023-2012. Show of hands of those who are here in favor of the resolution. All right, thank you. Show of hands of those who are here in opposition to the resolution. I see just some hands in favor. Anybody in opposition that I missed? All right, those in favor wish to speak? Nope. Declare the public hearing closed. Councilmember O'Connell, you're on your resolution.
Thank you, Mr. President. I've got a late filed amendment here. I'd like to suspend the rules to get attached to this resolution, please.
Okay. So there's actually an amendment in the file, but there's a late filed. So you're just dealing with the late file.
Yeah, just procedurally, I will not need the timely filed if we adopt the late file.
All right. So Councilmember O'Connell has a late filed amendment that he would like to entertain on RS 2023-2012. Did it go to rules? Here comes Mr. Rules, Mr. Rosenberg himself. Councilmember Rosenberg.
Thank you, Mr. President. We looked at it and did not have an issue with the late filed nature.
All right. So Councilmember O'Connell is moving to suspend the rules to get a late filed amendment considered on this resolution tonight. Is there any objection to suspending the rules? No objection. Councilmember O'Connell, the rules are suspended. You're on your late filed amendment.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to move the late filed amendment with a brief comment.
All right. So the motion is to approve, properly seconded. You're on your late filed amendment.
Thank you, Mr. President. In this one, we had the timely filed one actually was the initial expression of this, and this is really just late filed for clarity that was requested between the community and the applicant. There was a really productive community conversation around this, and we've got 2 applications tonight from the same neighborhood. This one is in a particularly sensitive area, and I think the updated recitals in the late filed amendment express the good faith of the applicant and adequately express the concerns of the community, and really glad to have gotten to this good faith effort here. And you can see with this effort that there is no opposition coming from the neighborhood after that. So would like to encourage colleagues to support the late filed amendment. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Councilmember O'Connell. The motion is to approve what we call the late filed amendment. It was properly seconded. Is there any discussion on the amendment? Seeing none, we're ready to vote. All those in favor of the amendment to RS 2023-2012 say aye. Opposed, no. Amendments on. You're on your resolution as amended.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to move as amended.
All right. So the motion is to approve RS 2023-2012 as amended for passage. Properly seconded. Any discussion on the resolution? Seeing none, ready to vote. All those in favor of RS 2023-2012 as amended for passage say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. You adopt. Thank you, Councilmember O'Connell. You got the next one, too. RS 2023-2013. This is a resolution exempting Taco Mamacita Nashville, located at 1234 6th Avenue North, from the minimum distance requirements for obtaining a beer permit. Councilmember O'Connell, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to get committee reports, please.
All right. Councilmember Benedict, Government Operations.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. The committee passed this 5 in favor, 0 against.
All right. Councilmember O'Connell.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to open the public hearing, please.
Declare the public hearing open on 2023-2013. Show of hands of those who are here in favor of the resolution. All right. Oh, they even stood up. Oh, there's more people. Okay. Show of hands of those who are here in opposition to the resolution. Don't see anybody in opposition. Those in favor wish to speak? Come on up. Do you want to come up? Oh, okay. You just wanted some TV time by standing up. Is that right? You stand. Okay. All right. All right. Declare the public hearing closed. Councilmember O'Connell, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to move approval of brief comment.
All right. The motion to approve properly seconded. Back to you.
Thank you. As you can see, again, these were two resolutions just honestly about a block from one another in the same neighborhood. I want to commend both applicants for working with the community in Germantown and as you can see tonight, I think earning the broad confidence that these establishments will operate responsibly and I think be a great addition to our mixed-use community there in Germantown. So we'd like to encourage colleagues to approve. Thank you.
All right, the motion is to approve. It's been properly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of RS 2023-2013 for passage, say aye. Opposed, no. Let's try that again. All right. All those in favor of RS 2023-2013 for passage, say aye.
Aye.
That's better. Opposed, no. That one passes. RS 2023-2014 by Councilmember Sepulveda, resolution exempting Uptown Fresh Market located at 3901 Apache Trail from the minimum distance requirements for obtaining a beer permit. Councilmember Sepulveda, you're recognized.
Thank you. Committee reports.
Councilmember Benedict.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Government operations passed 6 in favor, 0 against.
All right. Back to you, Councilmember Sepulveda.
Move to open the public hearing.
All right. Declare the public hearing open. A show of hands of those who are here in favor of this resolution. A show of hands of those who are here in opposition to the resolution. Councilmember Sepulveda, I didn't see any hands either way. All right. Declare the public hearing closed. Councilmember Sepulveda, you're recognized.
Move for approval.
Okay, the motion is to approve RS 2023-2014 for passage. Properly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of RS 2023-2014 for passage, say aye. Opposed, no. I heard at least 3 yeses, so that's good. All right. That takes care of the resolutions on public hearing. We are now back on section F for the public comment period. It's my understanding that we had one person sign up for the public comment period. It's Ms. Karen Rollins. That's right. Is Ms. Rollins here? Ms. Rollins, if you would please come on up. We have a public comment period the second meeting of every month, which would be the third Tuesdays of the month, and you're allowed to have 2 minutes to talk about matters related to the metropolitan government. Is this your husband?
Yes.
Okay.
My husband.
So I knew that you all had signed up. If you both want to talk, I'm willing to give you 4 minutes. All right? Okay, because I understand what you're going to talk about, and I know it's important to you. So you're recognized.
Thank you. Good evening. First of all, I would like to say thank you to Vice Mayor Schulman and members of the Metro Council for giving us the opportunity to speak. My name is Karen Rollins, and I retired from Metro Water Service in June of 2014 with 40 years of service. When I retired, I had an option to keep my Blue Cross Blue Shield insurance, as I was not yet Medicare eligible. My husband had a liver transplant in May of 2020 and is still under Vanderbilt's care. As of right now, Vanderbilt is the only hospital who can monitor my husband's anti-rejection drugs. He needs 2 CT scans twice a year to check his liver, and every 2 months get blood drawn to check his tacrolimus levels. In June of 2022, I received a letter from Human Resources Department stating I would be switched from Blue Cross Blue Shield PPO to Humana Medicare Advantage Plan as of January the 1st, 23. In January of 2023, I was told by Vanderbilt that stating as of 4/1, we will no longer be in network with Humana, if this is not resolved. The mayor's office, the benefit board, human resources, Metro Council have said, let's just save money. Let's take it from Metro retirees. Everything I worked for many years has been taken away, not just for me, but for other retirees as well. We want it back, or something else Metro or Vanderbilt will accept. I would be willing to pay more to keep what I had, Blue Cross Blue Shield and Medicare. Some might say, why don't you just opt out on your Humana plan? But if you do, no one else would give you insurance because of your health problems. Not everyone needs Vanderbilt. I understand this, but many of us retirees that have special needs need Vanderbilt. Please give us another option or extension with Vanderbilt until this is resolved.
Thank you.
Anything?
No, thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you for being here, Mr. and Mrs. Rollins.
I will say one thing. My name is Jerry Rollins, and
you may want to speak a little closer to the microphone.
name is Jerry Rollins, and I did send each one of you council members a letter for the ones I had received letters from stating why they needed their Vanderbilt doctors and the hospital. So, like my wife said, not everyone needs Vanderbilt. We totally understand that. And we don't want to see anyone lose their Humana. They're satisfied with it. We just wanted an option, a choice. And we felt like that we were not given that choice, that the mayor decided to just put everybody, lump them all into one category and say one size fits all. And that's not the way it works. So, I mean, that's all I have to say. Thank you for your time and your understanding.
Thank you. Thank you both for being here.
Thank you for having us.
All right. We are now moving to what is item G on your agenda. It's our pre-budget public comment period. It's the time dedicated to allow the council to hear general comments on public requests for the operating budget or the capital improvements budget. This was a process set up, was actually set up last year by Councilmember Berkeley Allen when she was chair of the Budget Committee, and Councilmember Kevin Roten has followed suit. What this is a chance to have a public hearing on the budget before we get the budget. So we did it last year. We do have a budget hearing in June that's required by the charter. But I think the idea was that we ought to be listening to people well in advance of getting the budget so you can have a say in what's coming. And so this was started last year, and Councilmember Roten again has followed suit. And what this will be is people have signed up in advance to speak. We have about 20 individuals. If you would just give us your name, and I've got your address, and then you'll have 2 minutes in which to speak, and we will go through this list. The first person up, Mr. Kurland. Is Mr. Kurland here? Oh, it starts, oh. Good. I've got a list. Joe Engel is first. So, Mr. Engel, I was trying to figure out where Mr. Kurland was, but apparently he's not here. So, Mr. Engel, you are first. Go ahead and introduce yourself, where you're from, and we're happy that you're here.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Schulman and members of council. I am with NOAA, and I'm in District 1, and we need your help. And why do we need your help? Let me give you a brief history. I'm sure most of you recall this when the mayor set up his policing commission. There were 2 items reported out of the mental health committee. One was to set up a mental health crisis response team that did not involve police. Another one did say, let's have a policeman. So out of that, the mayor's office chose to set up Partners in Care. But from the very beginning, we've been advocating this non-police to mental health response team, which is an EMT and a mental health crisis worker in a van based on the model in Eugene, Oregon. Statistics are clear. It's best practice throughout the country. Out of 124,000 calls, only 175 times where police needed to be summoned. These folks are trained. They have the van to do the work. So we came back to you last year, presenting it once again when we're now calling it HEALS, which is our model based on Eugene, Oregon's model. And many of us thought we had that through this body last year. And it turns out that didn't turn out to be the case. And for the same reason it happened first time, because we have good people running things in Metro, but sometimes they have their own self-interested heart and don't represent the community, which NOAA does and other groups do. And in this second round of talks, we had advocated for other community groups to be brought in. They were not. And so here we are now, coming back to you saying, yes, we still need heels. Reach is not the answer. We appreciate that effort, but it is a poor man's heels, and we need that model. And I encourage you to work with Council Lady Porterfield and Council Lady Allen to help us to achieve this community need in mental health crisis response. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Engel. Appreciate it. Next speaker, Lisa Williams. Ms. Williams, welcome.
Good evening. I'm Lisa Williams, and I am a board member for the Friends of Fort Nashboro. We are requesting $1.5 million from the Metro Capital Improvements budget to complete the approved design for the Fort Nashboro Interpretive Center. We need more family-friendly space downtown, and there's a longstanding education standard on the founding of our state and city. Currently, this is a third-grade curriculum piece. The funds we request will go to completing the classroom space, exhibit areas, and offering a digital experience via QR code access of visitors' smartphones. Fort Nashboro was one of Nashville's main tourist attractions, along with the Parthenon, the Hermitage, and the Grand Ole Opry, dating back to the 1930s. Currently, we have the shell of a building, but we do not have the developed areas for the educational experience we would like to offer. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Are there any questions?
We may have some later. We'll send them to you. Okay.
Thank you so much.
We know how to find you. All right. Next speaker is Mr. Tom Surface.
Good evening. My name is Tom Surface. I'm a voter from District 24, and I'm a member of Nashville Organized for Action and Hope, NOAA, part of their education task force. And I'm here tonight to advocate for a moral budget. I want our great city to direct the financial resources to protect and improve the lives of its most vulnerable citizens, and to address elements of systemic racism and social and economic inequity. For instance, metro schools. Did you know that black students in our schools are more than 3 times as likely to be suspended as white kids? This is a problem. We know that kicking kids out of the classroom only leads to higher dropout rates, and it feeds the schools to prison pipeline. We need to keep our children in the classroom as much as possible. That's where the learning happens. Fortunately, MNPS has implemented some programs intended to reduce and eliminate those gaps. Advocacy centers in the elementary schools and restorative practice assistants and peace centers in the middle and high schools. They just started this year. These programs have been shown to be effective in other school districts if they're implemented and funded properly. So the programs are currently being funded through the ESSER funding, so it's a one-time money. We need to continue to fund these programs and allow for further expansion. So we are asking, NOAA's asking for an additional $8.2 million for the Metro Schools budget to support this important initiative for our kids. We have a moral imperative to take care of our most vulnerable kids. They are the future of Nashville. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Surface. Nick Cavan is the next.
Good evening. My name is Nick Cavan, and I'm a resident in the Belmont Hillsborough Village in District 18, and I serve on NOAA's Affordable Housing Task Force. I'm here tonight to urge you to allocate $30 million to the Barnes Housing Trust Fund and as recommended by the Mayor's task force, and to fund additional staff for the Metro Housing Division. I've lived here in Nashville nearly my entire life and moved back to the city after graduating college in 2016. When I first moved here, most of my friends could afford to live in the center of the city. But as the years have gone by, my friends and I have been pushed further and further to the outskirts of the city, being literally marginalized in the city we call home. I've had friends, some of whom are teachers, servers, essential workers, Vanderbilt students, make the hard choice of leaving this area altogether because housing was simply too expensive. Friends have told me that they can't imagine having a child in this city because it's simply too expensive to live and have a family here. According to the 2022 U.S. Census Community Survey, over half of Nashville workers make less than $40,000, and that's $303,300 a month before taxes. And yet the median rent for a one-bedroom apartment in this city is $1,800. So that means more than half of their pre-tax earnings are going simply so that they can be in the city. I don't want to live in a city where we deprive our young people, such as myself, the opportunity to live here and to have a family. It's not a community I can be proud to be a part of. Despite the bleak reality before us, however, we do have the opportunity to turn this around. In the 2022 spring round of funding, the Barnes Fund gave $16 million in grants, which then resulted in over $200 million of affordable housing development. So for every $1 we gave to the Barnes Fund, they were able to find $11 to put towards affordable housing units. As you consider priorities for the next budget year, I'm urging you to help make Nashville a place for young people. Support the Barnes Housing Fund. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Cavan. Next speaker is Amanda Jemerson Key. Ms. Key, welcome.
Thank you. Well, as you know, my name is Amanda Key. Thank you for allowing me, as a Nashville resident, taxpayer, artist, and artist administrator, to give my feedback. Metro Artists has supported my artists by creating resources that combat the stigma of a starving artist to a thriving artist. Our city and the metropolitan area is growing tremendously, and we have to be intentional with the growth so that we don't displace hereditary artists as an accident of gentrification. We must invest the underrepresented artist base that feeds the entire ecosystem. Your robust funding will take us out of the zero-sum game and help us to support all art organizations equitably. I was a part of the community-led grants editing process at Metro Arts, and they are on the right path in supporting both emerging and established organizations equitably. We need your funding to support and strengthen communities such as North and South Nashville and its arts communities that were cut off by the intentional building of highways and closed grocery stores that isolated thriving and vibrant Black communities. We need more capacity building grants to repair the historical disparities created intentionally and unintentionally in Nashville. Please fund Metro Arts so they can continue to the work of investing in the arts communities. Fund Metro Arts at 1% of the combined $3 billion budget. This is not ambitious. This is not a handout, but an investment in the vibrant arts as the soul of Music City continues to flourish. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Key. Next speaker is Christine Hall. Ms. Hall?
Thank you. Hello. I have lived in District 17 since 2002. Thank you, Representative Colby Sledge. Council member, I appreciate you. And I appreciate each of you giving us the time and chance to speak to our priorities for this fiscal year 2024 budget. Last fall, I participated also in the community-led grants editing process with Metro Arts, and I was so excited to be a part of the changes happening there toward equity. It is real work, and it is walking the talk, and it is important. We were able to create a new category for funding for micro organizations, and that's going to help us facilitate intentional ways of bringing new artists and groups into the Nashville arts ecosystem. So as we continue to grow, we've got to recognize our roots and feed the roots. It's the biggest opportunity for growth. The artists here have given us our name, Music City, Athens of the South. We have worldwide renown on that basis, but more than that, it's the character that appeals to people, that draws people in and connects them to one another, right? It's our culture, and this is where we need to invest. Investing in the arts is always good business, but especially here in Nashville, where we need to live up to our name. It's critical that we reinvest in our roots to realize the benefits that these new and diverse artistic voices offer us. They have fresh perspectives, insights, and innovations. And I am asking here also that you please fund Metro Arts at 1% of the combined Metro and MNPS budget. That's $30 million. It means beautiful and real representation for what makes our life worth living, what makes the city truly thrive. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Hall. I hope you bring some passion the next time you come and speak to it.
Good evening. I'm not an artist, so I will not say that.
Ms. Albert, you can speak and bring some passion to this.
Thank you. Right.
Okay.
As the vice chair of NOAA, Nashville Organized for Action and Hope, we came tonight with people from all of our task forces. So we have task forces that work on affordable housing, criminal justice, education, and economic equity and jobs. And all these task forces together bring an intersection of really what is Nashville, and you hear that. We ask that you think about this as a moral budget. We know that a budget really is a moral document, that it says what we care about as a city. So you heard many of those from the other task forces. As also an employee of SEIU, Service Employees International Union, we want to bring to you our first proposal of what a living wage should look like for employees here in Metro. We're asking for a 5% cost of living increase for hourly employees. We want you to look at what inflation is right now, what we're paying for, and that these folks, we all lauded them as being essential when the pandemic was on. These are the people that kept Nashville running. We want to make sure that we keep the best and brightest here, so we're asking for a 5% cost of living for hourly employees. There is already an incredible discrepancy, we know, between folks that really do a lot of on-the-ground work and some of our management. So when we look at the money, we're looking at 5% for our hourly employees. So we want you to look at that really from that moral economic angle as well. So we're asking for that today, and we appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Albert. Next speaker is Honey Harris, and I believe, did we just meet a relative of yours up here? Just
That's my son.
That's what I thought.
That's my son, and I'm a proud resident of Old Hickory, the Old Hickory, and proud 20-plus year member and employee of MMPS. So, and I'm with SEIU, and as you know, my son gavelled in the meeting, and that's why I come every year to do what I do, because I have a 29-year-old, and now I have an 11-year-old. So I am very proud to stand before you and say I work for MMPS. I'm going to continue to work for MMPS as long as God gives me strength. With that being said, I do this for the children. I'm an hourly worker. I'm one of the people who need the 5%. We lost our custodians. They're still outsourced. We need to bring them home. We still have our custodians say they want to come home. Our schools need it. And as everybody sitting here knows, we have a third grade retention situation. That is another reason why I'm here. Because to move past this third grade retention situation, you need to have bodies. Not just warm bodies, you need to have capable, bright, smart bodies teaching our children in public schools. I understand some people can afford other options, but people who go to public school, majority of them is because they have to. And because they have to, that does not mean that they should be entitled to a warm body. They need someone who's passionate about teaching their children. And we need a living wage. Most people who are hourly workers make less than $40,000 a year. So you know they're bringing about $20,000 home to feed their MMPS students. And they're trying to choose between going to work and feeding their children. That's what we're coming down to. But they rise every day to do what they do to take care of our children who take care of our city. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker is Davita Pryor.
Good afternoon. My name is Davita McGee Pryor. I work for Nashville General Hospital. I've been there for 26 years. With the three of us, it's over 50 years of service. We're asking for continual funding to support Nashville General Hospital. Nashville General serves all of our community, the working class people, the elderly, and the homeless. Yes. Nashville General is special. We take the time to treat each patient as an individual, regardless of the color of their skin, their background, or the zip code. Yes. We don't just treat their illness. We help them to live a better life, healthier lives, and we do continually care. But we have to make a living too. So I'm a little nervous, but it's all right.
Take your time.
And with the cost of living in Nashville rising and inflation high, it's important that all Metro employees, including Nashville General Hospital employees, get a meaningful cost of living increase. We're asking also for support of the new hospital campus in the North Nashville area to expand our services. Nashville General serves the community, and if we have to choose between a $2 billion stadium or a new hospital, we choose to support a new hospital. And we need capital funds now for Nashville General Hospital.
Agreed.
Not tomorrow, now.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker is Regina Davis. Ms. Davis.
Good evening. I'm a member of NOAA's Affordable Housing Task Force. Tonight, more than 500,000 Americans will sleep in public places because they lack a private place. They bundle in crowded shelters or pitch tents on the highways or curl up in doorways of office towers. They are homeless, and they are falling apart. They struggle to stay healthy, to hold jobs, to preserve personal relationships, and to maintain a sense of hope. Nashville is known as one of the healthcare centers in this nation. Homelessness is a health care issue. The National Health Care the Council on Homelessness tells us that people experiencing homelessness have an average life expectancy as low as 41 years and are 3 to 4 times more likely to die prematurely than their housed counterparts. Recent data estimates that there are over 20,000 people experiencing homelessness in Nashville. 8,000 of them are children, some in our metro school system. Studies focused on high users of emergency rooms, hospital services, medical detox areas have found significant cost savings in providing permanent supportive housing for these individuals. In Nashville, housing plus intensive management case costs are estimated at $12,000 per person per year. So if we begin to tackle at least 4,407 of the many faces of homelessness and multiply that by the $12,000 per person, we get a budget ask of $52,884,000 to make a viable approach to tackling homelessness. So now is the time to move toward stop talking or stop. We've done enough study. Now is the time to move toward doing. Good measure pressed down, shaken together, running over, will put in your lap. For the measure you use will be measured back to you.
Thank you, Ms. Davis. Our next speaker is Stephanie Silverman.
Hello. Thank you for your time and consideration tonight and for this opportunity to talk in a pre-budget context. My name is Stephanie Silverman. My job is as Executive Director of the Belcourt Theater. I live in Councilperson Henderson's district, District 34, and work in Councilperson Cash's district, District 18. I'm here to talk Metro Arts, who have been a key supporter of the Belcourt through our many years of critical growth. As grateful as I am for every dollar of Metro Arts funding we've received, I am concerned that the Metro Arts budget has been flat, essentially, since 2000. Adjusting for inflation alone, that $2 million budget from 2000 should now be about $3.475 million in 2023, and that's without acknowledging the extraordinary growth that has gone on in the arts and culture organizations in Nashville and in the artist community of individual artists alone. The Metro Arts budget in 2023 was $2.4 million with an additional $500,000 as a one-time pandemic relief gift. Very grateful for that. And this moment right now is a very unique moment in time with council's collective power and this current council having the opportunity to really lead a profound artistic legacy. While our arts organizations do serve tourists, we really are deeply embedded in every neighborhood in Nashville, in our venues, in schools, in community centers, in spaces large and small. Nashville's creative community is serving this city. We are uniquely positioned to continue to deal with the aftermath of the post-pandemic world, bringing physical, emotional, and mental health to our patrons and to this city. For example, Metro's Health in All Policies initiative outlines how only 20% of our health care is from our primary care physician and medications. The rest is from community support systems. We are a key part to that 80%, to those community support systems. And even more importantly, the arts are even active in the 20% of physician, hospital, and arts therapy spaces. The arts and culture of Nashville is the soul of Nashville's metropolitan area. Please fund the arts at the 1% of combined Metro and MMPS budgets, and thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Silverman. Next speaker is Seth Feeman.
Good evening. My name is Seth Feeman, Executive Director and CEO of the Frist Art Museum. Thank you for inviting me to comment, and our sincere thanks to the members of the council, the Frist Council member, Freddie O'Connell, and to those council members serving on the Public Facilities, Arts, and Culture Committee. I'm here to advocate for additional funding for Metro Arts, because I know the arts are not just an enjoyable, thought-provoking, or nice-to-have amenity. The arts are, in fact, essential to a city's quality of life standard, its sustainable growth, and its attractiveness to visitors. And I'll tell you why that matters so much here in Nashville. Right now, our peer cities and really the entire country and beyond are watching our next moves and how we decide to progress from what the MBJ recently called our darling phase. Meanwhile, it's no secret that with its wild popularity, many locals feel hesitant to visit their downtown entertainment district. As our city seeks to find a healthy balance to support its own residents while continuing to attract tourists, increasing the investment in the arts will be a key strategy to overcoming this sense of division. We see this every day at the Frist. Art has a unique power to attract tourists and locals at once. Art often highlights that people have far more in common than what separates us. And art serves as an opportunity for people to come to that realization by sharing their own experiences with one another. At the Frist and for all the projects Metro Arts supports, we are intentional about bringing all kinds of people together. Every day at work, I get to see these people who might not otherwise meet or connect in a safe, positive environment. Supporting the arts is a civic investment in integrating diverse people, both those living in and those simply visiting Middle Tennessee. For this reason, increased funding for the arts should be a priority to each one of you. Thank you so much for your time tonight.
Thank you. Next speaker, Mr. Ogle.
Oh, hi, my name is Drew Ogle. I am a resident of Councilman Sean Parker's district, District 5. The organization that I represent is Nashville Repertory Theater. And as the resident theater company at TPAC, we serve residents of every metro district. And like all arts organizations here in Nashville, in addition to serving our residents, we attract dollars into the metro area from the surrounding counties when our guests buy our tickets, when they eat in Nashville restaurants, when they stay in Nashville hotels, and when they park in our downtown parking lots. The funding that we receive from Metro Arts impacts every program in our organization, despite being only 3% of our budget. It employs artists on our stages, it employs musicians in our pits, and it employs the teachers in our educational programs. With Metro Arts support, we are the leading employer of theatrical talent in the region. 250 artists rely on us and on you for jobs each year. If Metro Arts funding continues to stay flat, as it has for virtually 20 years, while the cost of living increases, then we and the other arts organizations like us, we are employing fewer artists, we are employing fewer musicians, we are employing fewer teachers, and the ones that we are employing are seeing their real wages shrink. We are losing our artist class from our community. We are not seeking extraordinary funding. Instead, we are asking that Metro funding for the arts keep up with inflation, keep up with the demand of our culturally vibrant city, and to keep up with other cities of our stature. So please fund the Metro Arts at 1% of the combined budget of $3 billion or $30 million. Your support is an investment in the quality of life of our community, and it will benefit us all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ogle. Christina Barclay, you're next.
Hello, my name is Christina Barclay. I'm an artist living in the Paragon Mills neighborhood and a two-time Metro Arts Thrive Grant Award recipient. The Metro Arts Commission has empowered me as an artist to give back to the community at large. This month, the Thrive Grant awarded me the opportunity to use the arts to help facilitate healing for underserved Nashvillians battling grief. We received just enough funding to take them out of their home environments for the weekend, hire a grief counselor, and expose them to healing modalities like yoga, sound bathing, meditation, dancing, and art. Programs like this impact the very core of our communities. Grief hits every household, every walk of life, especially since COVID. The Metro Arts Commission made that possible. So I ask that you all help us prepare for the future of Music City and the Athens of the South, and please fund Metro Arts at 1% of the combined Metro and MNPS budget, which is $30 million. Thank you for your time and your consideration. You all have a great day.
Thank you. Daniel Jones. Mr. Jones.
Hi, I'm a resident of District 5, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak on the FY24 budget. Regarding the budget line for Metro Arts, I come from the perspective of being a full-time employee at OzArts Nashville, which is currently funded by Metro Arts, and as a leader of Kindling Arts, both organizations that vitally contribute to Nashville's vibrant culture and diversity. Somewhat uncharacteristically, I will invoke scripture today. Luke 16:10, whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much. This was a principle I was taught as a young person growing up in the church in East Tennessee, and this pearl of wisdom holds great relevance for the Nashville art scene today. Local artists and arts organizations have worked for decades under very limited means. In fact, the Metro budget has tripled since 2000, but there has been no increase for Metro Arts funding. For the past 23 years, artists have stretched and contorted and adapted as the city has grown and inflation has gone up and up. They have found new ways of working even without the resources to do so. But while extraordinary creations have emerged from innovative collaborations and outside-the-box thinking, some independent artists have still been forced to relocate to other cities or give up their artistic practice entirely due to the lack of opportunity and funding. Those of us who are committed to supporting local artists and arts organizations know the indelible value that the arts bring to the city. Lively arts experiences and beautiful neighborhoods are often what draw tourists and new citizens alike to Nashville. The possibilities for what artists could accomplish together with more fiscal resources are as grand as we allow them to be. So it's time that the city properly invests in the artists that make Nashville feel alive. I ask you to please consider how you can increase the budget for Metro Arts so they can offer more support to local artists and increased funding to our treasured local arts institutions, all of which contribute to Nashville's vibrancy and indeed to its soul. Please take this opportunity to increase the sliver of the pie from the city's budget that is devoted to the arts. Consider giving just 1% of the $3 billion to support Nashville artists. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Next speaker is Will Schutz.
Good evening. My name is Will Schutz, and I'm the Director of Marketing and PR for Nashville Opera. We're proud to be located in Sylvan Park in District 24, represented by Councilwoman Murphy. And as of last week, I'm a new resident of District 33, represented by Councilwoman Lee. Since 1981, Nashville Opera has been a thread of the tapestry that makes Music City. Our Winter 22 season, abbreviated as it was, brought in audience members from 33 states to our 3 different productions, which included the world premiere of Marcus Hummin, Nashville Songwriters' folk opera, Favorite Son. While we're extremely proud of that, most folks don't know that the majority of the work we do happens outside of a theater. Last year, our 2022 education tour reached nearly 21,000 students across Middle Tennessee. Over 1/3 of those lived in Davidson County. Our current education tour is slated to reach 25,434 students. Again, 1/3 of whom will live in Nashville and Davidson County. This all happens at zero cost to any of those students or their schools. Since 1995, when we started this tour, we've touched the lives of 621,000 young people across Middle Tennessee. We're a growing, thriving company in an ever-expanding city. And we know one thing: the best indicator of whether someone will become an artist or an arts patron is if they've had consistent varied, and deep engagement with the arts in their kindergarten through grade 5 years. For Music City to continue its rich tradition of the arts, we need to be investing in ways to make future artists grow. We pride ourselves with our partnerships at Fisk and TSU for our HBCU fellowship program, and we're proud of this community. We hope that Metro Council will fund Metro Arts at 1% of the combined Metro and MNPS budget. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Thomas, you're next.
Hi. Hi, I'm Natalie Thomas. I am the Director of Development and Operations at Music for Seniors, a nonprofit here in Nashville. I reside in District 29 with Delisha Porterfield, and I work in District 17 with Colby Sledge. As taxpayers and residents, we thank you. We appreciate the opportunity to be part of this democratic decision-making process. Metro Arts has contributed greatly for several years to the nonprofit that I work for. I've seen this and heard this firsthand even recently. The aging adult population and how the arts have helped it are immense. I've seen it in the residences, I've seen our musicians in their residences, and it works. As you know, the arts organizations were the first to be shut down during the pandemic and the last to be allowed to reopen because of a very valid crowd density concern. We are all reimagining a future where patrons can stream, but will also feel comfortable coming back into our venues and connecting and contributing in person. We believe in the power of the arts to reunite us after 3 intense years of isolation. Isolation is a biggie with the aging adult population. The power of the arts is crucial for this population. We need this to revive ourselves. Nashville has been named the 5th fastest growing city in the U.S. People are moving here because of a vibrant culture, diverse artists, and arts organizations, as we always have had, and because we are invested in supporting arts organizations equitably. Help us prepare for the future. We are Music City. We are the Athens of the South. Please fund Metro Arts at 1% of the combined Metro and MNPS budget. 1% equals $30 million, and that can revive us and the arts that we all need.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Thomas. Mr. Alan Valentine.
Hello. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Alan Valentine, and I reside in Councilman Rosenberg's District 35. And for the past 25 years, I have had the privilege of serving as president and CEO of the Nashville Symphony, whose Schermerhorn Symphony Center is in District 19, Freddie O'Connell's district. So thank you for granting me this opportunity to say a few words on behalf of arts funding. Having been in my role at the Nashville Symphony for so many years has given me a long-term view of our city and our arts community. Our city, its budget, and its arts community have all grown dramatically over that quarter century, while the funding that our Metro government has provided for the arts has not. I would remind you all that the construction and opening of Schermerhorn Symphony Center some years ago was one of the major factors in igniting the Sobro development, development of the Sobro neighborhood. In fact, the very first 2 buildings were the Encore and the Pinnacle at Symphony Place. Our legacy arts organizations have grown exponentially into internationally recognized institutions, bringing great credit to our city, while we have simultaneously experienced an explosion of new and highly creative arts organizations. All while support for our arts community from our city has not only not kept pace, but fallen behind. Instead, in Nashville, we have always relied on the private sector to take care of the arts. Let the private sector do it. Well, our city has grown way past the point that the same handful of families that have traditionally built and supported everything that makes our city worth living in and so attractive to outside investors can continue to do that in the same way. Our city budget is a reflection of our priorities, and I would ask the question, do you all think it reflects the right priorities? Our brand is Music City, and our calling card is creativity, but I doubt one would know that by examining the priorities in our city's budget. Yet the first place our economic development folks bring executives from companies we're trying to recruit are to arts organizations. Our city budget is not a zero-sum game, And you all have a unique opportunity in this moment to create a lasting legacy for our citizens and our city. And I would urge you to also consider funding the Arts Commission at 1% of the budget and tying it to that so it grows into the future with the growth of our city. Thank you so much for all you do for our city.
Thank you, Mr. Valentine. Austin Forsyth. Mr. Forsyth.
Hello, everyone. My name is Austin Forsyth. I'm a 911 dispatcher for Metro. I'm also a resident of Davidson County, and my husband also works for Metro. My sister died this past year in a car accident, leaving my niece for my husband and I to raise. And let me be the first to tell you, I had no idea how expensive it is to raise a child, especially in a city like Nashville. We also bought a house this past year and realized how volatile the market can be and how fast interest rates can go up. The past few years have been extremely eventful, between the Nashville bombing, a full pandemic, tornadoes, and more, that we at 911 have been behind the phone answering your calls for help. We felt the effect of these past couple of years at work and at home. Studies show that over the past year alone, inflation has risen between 7 to 9%. When life is coming at you fast, that 9% can be detrimental. In 2022 alone, the Department of Emergency Communications handled over 1 million calls. And while we at 911 are greatly appreciative of the 40 new positions this council granted us last year, we found it difficult to fill those positions, leading to longer wait times on 911 and mentally exhausted dispatchers. From a citizen understandably upset with response time all the way to a mother finding her child not breathing, we handle all sorts of calls at 911. These and many other types of calls can greatly have an effect on you, and there are times it's very difficult to not take those calls home and hear your voices at night while you're trying to settle down for sleep. We come to you this year as Metro employees asking for a 5% cost of living adjustment. We feel this will help offset some of the rise of costs we've all been suffering through. We also feel this cost of living adjustment would aid us in being able to attract and retain more employees that we need to continue the important work we do at 911. We feel that no full-time Metro employee should have to work a second job to pay their bills and live outside of poverty. We hope you'll strongly consider and pass our request for a 5% cost of living adjustment to help relieve a little bit of the stress we're all feeling. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. Forsyth. And our last speaker is Ashley Northington. Ms. Northington.
Greetings. I am Ashley Northington. I live in District 31 at 9073 Risto Drive in Cane Ridge, Tennessee. I am the chair of Moving Forward, a transportation-focused organization dedicated to creating regional transportation solutions that work for Middle Tennesseans. Our organization brings the community together by empowering business, community, and transit thought leaders to engage with the critical transportation issues facing our region. Moving Forward's work to expand mobility options is grounded in the values of accountability, collaboration, equity, regionalism, and urgency. First, we urge the Metro Council to support increased operational and capital funding for WeGo. With its current limited resources, WeGo is working very hard to implement its Better Bus Plan, and it needs dependable, sustained funding for grant matches, replacement and expansion vehicles, additional stop and shelter improvements, more frequent service, and transit centers. With the April 2022 service expansion, WeGo is currently at 107% of pre-pandemic service levels. Ridership recovery is at 80 to 95% depending on the period, with evening and weekend ridership well above pre-pandemic levels. Average ridership has also increased from 20,000 riders to 25,000 riders per day, often serving the most vulnerable in our community. Our entire community benefits when we invest in transit and mobility, and all Nashvillians can have access to convenient, dependable transit. This also calls for greater funding for transit with a commitment to equitable investment. Of course, many of you know Moving Forward is committed to dedicated funding, to securing dedicated funding for transit, and believes that that investment is crucial for our counties and our region's prosperity. To retain our quality of life and to ensure all residents have an equitable access to jobs, education, and our community's amenities, we must have dedicated funding for transit. We appreciate your continued focus on equitable transit and mobility investments in Davidson County so that all Nashvilleians can prosper. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, that completes the list of people that had signed up and confirmed. Did I miss anybody that had signed up that somehow didn't get checked in? All right, seeing none, would council members please join me in thanking the people who came and spoke. I thought it was very, very helpful. All right, and as we get to resolutions on consent and the resolutions, I did notice that our council member Kathleen Murphy has entered the chamber, and we're very glad that she's back. She brought her own throne, is that what you said? All right, Kathleen, we're glad you're back, and we thought there might be music as you came in, but obviously. Okay, thank you. All right, we're on the consent resolution agenda. I'm going to read the bill numbers that are on consent. Tell me if anything needs to be bumped off. These are items on consent. Item number 6, RS 2023-1979 is on consent. RS 2023-1981 is on consent. RS 2023-2015 is on consent. 2016 is on consent. 2017 is on consent. 2018 is on consent. 2020 is on consent. 2021 on consent. 2022 is on consent. 2023 is on consent. 2024 is on consent. 2025 on consent. 2026 is on consent. 2027 is on consent. 2029 is on consent. 2030 is on consent. 2031 is on consent. 2032 is on consent. 2033 is on consent. 2034 is on consent. 2035 is on consent. And 2036 is on consent. Anything needs to be bumped off that consent calendar? Councilmember Allen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. 2032.
Okay. All right, 2032 is going to be bumped off. That's item number 26. 2023, 2032 is bumped. Councilmember Bradford.
Number 29, 2035.
Okay. Item number 29, or is 2023, 2035 is going to be bumped? Okay. Anybody else? All right. Seeing none. There we go. I'm going to read you the items on consent. Starting with item number 6, RS 2023-1979 by Council Members Roten, Johnston, and Gamble. It's a resolution reducing the authority of the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County to issue general obligation bonds pursuant to certain initial resolutions previously adopted by the Metropolitan County Council. Item number 8, RS 2023-1981 by Councilmember Roten, a resolution appropriating the amount of $16,779,600 in the General Fund Reserve Fund for the purchase of equipment and building repairs for various departments of the Metropolitan Government. RS 2023-2015 by Councilmembers Roten, Welsh, and Hurt, a resolution accepting a grant from the Tennessee Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services to the Metropolitan Government through the Davidson County General Sessions Court to provide Tennessee mental health court program services to enable the establishment of adult mental health court programs and treatment services to nonviolent offenders. Item number 10, RS 2023-2016, Roten, Welsh, and Hurt, a resolution approving Amendment 1 to a grant from the Tennessee Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services to the Metropolitan Government through the Davidson County General Sessions Court for the provision of Tennessee Certified Recovery Recovery Court Program. RS 2023-2017 by Roten, Welsh, and Hurt. Resolution approving Amendment 1 to a grant from the Tennessee Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services to the Metropolitan Government through the state trial courts to provide a Tennessee Certified Recovery Court Program at the Davidson County Residential Drug Court. RS 2023-2018 by Roten and Welsh, a resolution to appropriate grant funds from the Martha O'Brien Center's Tennessee Opportunity Pilot Initiative Implementation Grant to the Metropolitan Government through the Metropolitan Action Commission to formalize the parties' relationship while collaborating on direct services, capacity building, collaborative activities, and grant compliance. Next item is item number 14, RS 2023-2020 by Roten and Pulley, a resolution accepting the terms of a cooperative purchasing master agreement for the purchase of special purpose vehicles for the transport of heavy sludge waste for the Department of Water Services. Item number 15, RS 2023-2021, Sledge, Roten, and others, a resolution approving a participation agreement between the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County, acting by and through the Department of Water and Sewer Services and Development Street Development, LLC, to provide stormwater infrastructure improvements through funding the design and construction of an improved stormwater system. Item number 16, RS 2023-2022, Sledge, Roten, and others, resolution authorizing the Metropolitan Government acting through the Department of Water and Sewer Services to enter into a utility relocation contract with the State of Tennessee Department of Transportation and construct PIN number 125526.08 SR1, that's Murfreesboro Road, from Division Street to near Volte Boulevard in Nashville. Item number 17, RS 2023-2023, Roten and Pulley, a resolution approving two amendments to two agreements between the Metropolitan Government and the State of Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation concerning maintenance of closed solid waste disposal facilities. Item number 18, RS 2023-2024. Councilmember Roten is the sponsor. Resolution authorizing the Metropolitan Department of Law to compromise and settle the property damage claim of George Sawyers against the Metropolitan Government for $25,466.01. Said amount to be paid out of the self-insured liability fund. RS 2023-2025. Item number 19, Evans, Roten, and others. A resolution approving an intergovernmental agreement between the State of Tennessee Department of Transportation and the Metropolitan Government acting through NDOT for the repairing of existing pavement facilities and resurfacing of 0.660 miles of Old Hickory Boulevard. Item number 20, RS 2023-2026, Roberts, Withers, and Pulley. A resolution authorizing Camden Nations LLC to construct and install an aerial encroachment at 4901 through 5003 Louisiana Avenue and 4908 through 5010 Tennessee Avenue. Item number 21, Councilmember O'Connell, RS 2023-2027, a resolution accepting a donation in the amount of $10,000 as a contribution to NDOT for studying roadway infrastructure improvements in Pytown near 7th Avenue South and Middleton Street. Item number 23, RS 2023-2029, Roten, Pulley, and Welsh, a resolution approving a Bloomberg initiative for cycling infrastructure grant application from Bloomberg to the Metropolitan Government. I give up. Acting by and through the NDOT to provide consultant and technical assistance in finding creative solutions to deliver safer, more comfortable bike lanes. Philanthropies. There you go. RS 2023-2030. Councilmembers Roten, a resolution authorizing the Metropolitan Department of Law to compromise and settle the personal injury claim of Jenny Mann against the Metropolitan Government in the amount of $85,000. Item number 25, RS 2023-2031. Councilmember Roten, a resolution authorizing the Metropolitan Department of Law to compromise and settle the personal injury claim of Elizabeth Giddens against the Metropolitan Government in the amount of $30,000. Said amount to be paid from the Self-Insured Liability Fund. Item number 27, RS 2023-2033. Councilmember Syracuse, a resolution urging the Tennessee General Assembly to support House Bill 304, Senate Bill 200, require that certain establishments serve alcohol, maintain at least one dose of, what is that? I know that. No, what is it? Councilmember Syracuse? Naloxone? Is that right? Okay. Making sure. Nasal spray on its premises. Item number 28, RS 2023-2034, resolution on the life of Avi Poster. And item number 30, RS 2023-2036 by Councilmember Hurt, resolution recognizing Fisk University as being HBCU of the Year at the Black Sports Business Symposium. Those are the items on the consent calendar. Anything needs to be bumped off of that one? Seeing none, I got some committee reports coming in. Budget and Finance, Councilmember Roten, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. 2023, 1979, 1981, 2015, 2016, 2017, 18, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 27, 28, 29, 30, and 31. For all approved, 15 in favor, 0 against.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Roden. Councilmember Benedict, I think you've got one.
Sorry.
It's 2032.
It was pulled.
Oh, it was pulled. Okay. Okay, thank you. Councilmember Druffel, you got one? It would be 2018.
Yeah, 5 in favor, 0 against.
All right, thank you. Councilmember Withers, Planning and Zoning.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Planning and Zoning met and considered resolutions RS 2023, 2021, 2022, 2025, 2026. I think that's it for us on consent. Each of those we recommended 10 in favor, 0 against, 0 abstentions.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Rosenberg, rules.
Thank you, Mr. President. We had 2033, 2034, 2035, 2036, and voted 4 in favor, none against on all of them.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Pulley, you got the last one.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Transportation and Infrastructure recommended approval of RS 2023, 2020 through 2023, 2025, and 2026, and 2029. 11 in favor, 0 against, and I move approval of the consent agenda.
All right, Councilmember Pulley has moved approval of the consent resolution agenda. Properly seconded. Any discussion on that one? Seeing none, all those in favor of the resolution consent agenda say aye. Opposed, no. Resolution, consent agenda passes. All right, we're back now on resolutions that were not on the consent agenda. We are back on item number 5. It's on page 3 of my agenda. It's RS 2023-1978 by Council Members Roten and Gamble. It's an initial resolution determining the issuance of general obligation bonds to the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County in an aggregate principal amount of not to exceed $478,540,000. Councilmember Roten, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. This is the capital spending plan. I think we've all had time to digest this. We had a meeting several weeks ago, went over all of this, and all of y'all have had it in your mailboxes for quite a long time. We've got several amendments here to look at, and one substitute that I don't think will be taken up if the amendment passes, but we will see. So I guess with that, I would move approval of capital spending plan.
All right, let me get your committee report first, and then I'll come back for your motion.
Our committee approved the capital spending plan, 15 in favor, 0 against. We had 1 proposed late amendment. We had 4 in favor, 10 against, and 1 not voting. We had a proposed amendment by Councilmember Parker, 14 in favor, 0 against.
All right. So it looks like you put 1 amendment on the
Councilmember Parker's amendment was put on. The other amendment did not get approved.
And that was approved 14-0, and then the whole thing as amended was approved 15-0.
That is correct.
All right, I got it. All right, Councilmember Roten has moved approval of RS 2023-1978 for passage, properly seconded. Let's go through. I've got a substitute resolution by Councilmember Mendez. Councilmember Mendez, you're recognized.
I think we're doing Amendment 1 first.
Okay. Amendment number 1, that is by Councilmember Parker. You're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Do I need to move this amendment?
Yeah, go ahead and move the amendment.
Right, I'll move Amendment 1.
Okay. Councilmember Parker has moved Amendment number 1 properly seconded. Back to you for an explanation of the amendment.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. So my colleague to my left here, Councilmember Mendez, had brought up some concerns with a substitute in the last meeting. This was me kind of being proactive and responsive to those concerns. The $5 million that you see for the East Bank infrastructure, there's 2 Ds there after that, but it's a $5 million bucket that would go to support development efforts along the East Bank and around the East Bank. This funding will be utilized to cover a lot of different projects that are already partly underway. A couple of examples are the state-funded connections between Dickerson Pike and River North at the Grace Street and Cleveland Street. The state's largely funding those. We're going to have to sort of figure out how they terminate on the metro side outside of the connections themselves. That's one example of how some of this funding is going to be utilized. But I think there was a concern or a criticism that I think is valid in that, utilizing this money for a potential new football stadium is premature. That deal is not finalized. So what we did is I worked with the administration and with planning to sort of identify a list of things that this funding would and could be utilized for, as well as explicitly saying that these $5 million will not go toward the construction of the new proposed Titan Stadium. So essentially what we wanted to make sure of here is that we're not issuing general obligation bonds to support that particular project at this time. And so with that explanation, I'm happy to answer any questions, but I would urge my colleagues to support this amendment.
Okay, so what I've got is this is amendment number 1 to RS 2023-1978. Councilman Parker has moved that amendment, properly seconded. He just gave an explanation of it. Questions on the amendment? Councilmember O'Connell, you're recognized. Okay. And Councilmember Parker, your button's pushed.
Well, that
you've already, I know, I'm just kidding. Anybody else on the amendment? Seeing none, we're ready to vote. All those in favor of amendment number 1 to RS 2023-1978, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The amendment passes. We're back to Councilmember Roten. You're on your, well, let me go through we got 2 other amendments and we got substitute resolution.
I'm not going to pursue.
All right, so substitute resolution is not going to proceed. Councilmember Benedict, you're recognized on amendment number 2 and 3.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. So amendment number 3 was late filed, so I'd like to take that one first, if I may.
All right, so Councilmember Benedict is, you're going to need to suspend the rules, correct?
Yep.
Did it go to the Rules Committee?
It did.
Councilmember Rosenberg, you're recognized. This is on a late filed amendment by Councilmember Benedict on the capital spending plan.
Thank you, Mr. President. We had no issue with the late filed nature.
All right, Councilmember Benedict, you're recognized.
Thank you. I move to suspend the rules.
Okay, so Councilmember Benedict is moving to suspend the rules to get a late filed amendment before us tonight. Is there objection to, there is objection. I've got a couple of hands up. I got several hands up. So we cannot, we can't take that one up. Okay. So we'd have to go back to your amendment number 2.
Sounds good. I'd like to move that amendment.
All right. So Councilmember Benedict has moved amendment number 2, properly seconded. Back to you for an explanation of the amendment.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. So the late file that I had just tried to present to
Councilmember Vercher
was.
I got a point of order.
Point of order.
I think the chair got it.
Yeah, I got it. That was not taken up in Budget and Finance today.
Oh, this amendment?
It was not taken up. She did not move it in Budget and Finance.
Okay. She can still move it before. Yeah. It's my understanding it's timely filed. She can still move it. It just didn't get an opinion coming out.
That wasn't my point of order. My point of order was we're on the amendment that was timely filed, not the one that we just objected to for suspension of the rules.
Yeah, we are on amendment number 2, we did not suspend the rules, so we're not on the late filed amendment. Councilmember Benedict filed 2. We're on amendment number 2, which was timely filed.
Right, and comments need to be on that amendment.
Okay. That's right. Got it. Councilmember Benedict.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. So this amendment funds the Englewood Library capital, the plan in 2024. Gosh, let me regather my thoughts here, folks. So the Englewood Library has been on the CIB for 10 years or more. It is something that my predecessor fought hard for. It's something that I have been talking with the administration about. And that when he's been in the community, the mayor has heard from the community that they want this new library. It is time for me to request this library. I put it in this amendment for the full amount that's in the CIB. I did try to present an amount that was $1.2 million that
Okay, proceed ahead.
So I tried to present a $1.2 million funding, and that's what people have on their desk, so speaks to this. But in a nutshell, the Englewood Library is more than 50 years old. It's been postponed many times, and Dan Mills Elementary is within walking distance to the school. Lytton Middle School is within walking distance to the school. Both of those are having explosive growth, and this location is on the WeGo route with the second highest ridership in the city. The current location is where the new library will be built, and so this $28.9 million funding request is for the full new library that has been, again, postponed, been in the CIB. The CIB number is 97 to go and show how long this has been around, what we've been looking to do. It is in the library master plan for fiscal year 24, and so this is to get it started. So with that, this is the amendment for $28.9 million to fund the entire construction and design phase of the Englewood Library, and I would seek approval from this body. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Councilmember Benedict. Okay, so I've got a motion and a second on Councilmember Benedict's amendment. I've got people in the queue. Councilmember O'Connell on this. Okay. Councilmember Toombs on this. You're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. I think that we all can empathize with the council member in seeking to get funding for our library. We all have projects that we have been waiting on and have worked diligently trying to get funded. I cannot support this amendment. It cuts the funding for the gun range planning and design. The current gun range is in my district. It is one of the source of many of the complaints I get from residents because it sounds like we're in a war zone as they're practicing shooting. And so I know that it is high on the list for my residents, particularly the ones that live around the gun range, and I'm one of those folks, to find some other location or to have an enclosed gun range. So I cannot support this amendment for such a high priority for my residents.
Okay, thank you, Councilmember.
Can I withdraw?
Yeah. Councilmember Benedict, you're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I'm going to withdraw.
Okay, so the amendment's withdrawn. All right, so we are now back on, I think that takes care of all the amendments in the proposed substitute resolution. So we are now back on RS 2023-1978 as amended. It's got one amendment on it. Councilman Roten, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. I think the capital spending plan, everybody's familiar with it. We've got new schools in it. We've got a new juvenile justice center being built with these funds. And we've also got a lot of money going to Department of Transportation for things throughout the city. So I think this is a good capital spending plan, and I would move again for approval.
All right. Councilman Roten has moved for approval of RS 2023-1978 as amended for passage. Properly seconded. People in the queue. Councilmember O'Connell, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm just going to make a comment on this. I'm going to support the plan, and I didn't wind up offering an amendment, and just want to talk a little bit about why. It's been made clear to us that this is not an opportunity for both and, that anything that we would have done to add items to this capital spending plan would not have resulted in it being accepted by the finance director. And I just wanted to note, the last speaker we heard at our pre-budget public comment period spoke to the importance of transit. And over the past 3 years, we've allocated almost $1.5 billion in local capital. Yet for the last 2 capital spending plans, we've invested so little in transit that it doesn't even merit a mention in the releases promoting the overall investments. In this capital spending plan, we could have put another $1.5 million toward bus shelters and transit stop improvements. We could have put another $8.3 million toward replacement buses that I know WeGo is going to have to go source elsewhere. And unfortunately, this is yet another oversight. And meanwhile, to what I know Councilmember Benedict was looking for here, there are priorities that are not being adequately funded through the capital process. And I'm just rising to make that comment and that point. Overall, the investments that are in this capital spending plan are investments I support, and I didn't want to take away from any of those, but this is just highlighting the need to continue focusing on priorities for the city. Thank you.
All right, thank you, council member. Anybody else? Anybody else? I don't have anybody else in the queue. All right, we are ready to vote. RS 2023-1978 as amended for passage. All those in favor of the resolution say aye. Opposed, no. Resolution passes. Thank you, Councilmember Roten. We are now ready for item number 7, RS 2023-1980 by Councilmembers Roten and Gamble, a resolution appropriating certain accounts to the benefit of the Administrative Department, Police Department, Fire Department, Finance Department, ITS, Parks Department, NDOT, General Services, Nashville General Hospital, and NDOT surplus parking funds, the amount of $88,908,200. Councilman Roten, you're recognized on the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Committee report for this. we had an amendment from Councilmember Syracuse, 15 in favor, 0 against. And this resolution was approved, 15 in favor, 0 against, and I would move approval.
All right, so I've got a motion to approve RS 2023-1980 for passage, properly seconded. Councilmember Syracuse, you're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. This amendment simply moves us forward in the project that started at the beginning of this term, looking at council strategically from a personnel standpoint, and also the second floor project of redoing this, making it more sense with council staff, office, and eventually committee rooms here. So this gets us to where we can actually start that process. Thank you.
All right, so Councilmember Syracuse is moving the amendment to RS 2023-1980, properly seconded. Discussion on Councilmember Syracuse's amendment. Seeing none, ready to vote. All those in favor of the amendment say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Amendment's adopted. Councilmember Roten, you're back on RS 2023-1980 now as amended.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Move approval.
Okay, it's the motion to approve, properly seconded. Discussion on the resolution. Seeing none, ready to vote. All those in favor of RS 2023-1980 for passage say aye. Opposed, no. RS 2023-1980 passes. All right. Next item is item number 13, RS 2023-2019 by Councilmember Roten and Withers. It's a resolution to approve the First Amendment to the lease agreement between the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County and Jocelyn's Line and Maintenance Company for the real property located at 630 Murfreesboro Pike for parking purposes. Councilmember Roten, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Budget and Finance approved, 14 in favor, 0 against, 1 present not voting.
All right, and I've got a committee report coming out of Planning and Zoning.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Planning and Zoning recommended approval, 10 in favor, 0 against, 0 abstentions.
All right. Thank you. Back to you, Councilmember Roten.
Move approval.
Councilmember Roten has moved approval of RS 2023-2019, properly seconded. Discussion on the resolution. All right. Seeing none, ready to vote. All those in favor of the resolution say aye. Opposed, no. Resolution's adopted. Push it all the way to the back. Okay. Next item is item number 22, RS 2023-2028. It's a resolution approving Amendment 2 to an agreement by and between the State of Tennessee, Department of Transportation, and the Metropolitan Government acting through Department of Transportation Multimodal Infrastructure for the acceptance of work in connection with the construction of Hart Lane from east of Whitney Park Drive to near SR6 in Davidson County. Councilmember Roten, you're recognized on the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. This is Councilmember Syracuse's resolution, but I'm also on the bill, so I would move approval. As far as committee reports, we had an amendment by Councilmember Syracuse. It was approved, 15 in favor, 0 against, and the resolution was approved, 15 in favor, 0 against, and I would defer to Councilmember Syracuse for any comments.
Let's get Planning and Zoning and Transportation in here. Planning and Zoning, Councilor Withers.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Planning and Zoning recommended approval, 10 in favor, 0 against, 0 abstentions.
Councilmember Pulley. Big tall guy. There he is. He's coming over there. Tripping over Councilmember Murphy's
yes.
chair.
Transportation Infrastructure recommended approval of RS 2023-2028, 11 in favor, 0 against.
All right, thank you. Okay, so I'm going to go to Councilmember Syracuse or Councilmember Roten. Who wants that? You're recognized. Oh, sorry. Well, I'll hit the button maybe. Okay, there you go.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. What am I looking at on the screen here?
I'm not sure. I'm looking to find out where your name is on here, but I don't see it.
Right, so this is a ordinance, so we're on second reading?
No, this is a resolution.
Okay.
Yeah, Councilmember Roten referred it back to you.
Are we on item 42?
No, we're on 22.
All right.
Oh, this isn't. We think Councilmember Roten may have called on you inadvertently.
My apologies. I was thinking this was the stormwater capacity fee. Did we jump over that one?
This is not the stormwater capacity.
Well, it's my apology.
This is some type of agreement, an amendment to an agreement for dealing with construction of Hart Lane.
That was on consent, so I'm sorry. I was confused by that. So this would be Budget and Finance approved, 15 in favor, 0 against. Move approval.
Okay. We've already got the other committee reports. I think all you need to do is move approval, which you just did, properly seconded. I'm not even sure why it's not on consent. But is there any questions, any discussion on this one? Seeing none, we're ready to vote. All those in favor of RS 2023-2028, say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. You adopt. Okay, item number 26. Councilmember Cash, you've recommended that this one go to the hill of the calendar, the full hill of the calendar, all the way in the back. Councilmember Cash, you're recognized.
Yes, thank you. As it kind of relates to Bill 1471, I'd like for us to handle that before considering this.
All right. Any objection to putting it at the hill of the calendar? Seeing none, without objection, this one will go to the hill, which means it's the last resolution, the last thing we'll take up. It'll be at the bottom. All right. Next item up is item number 29, RS 2023-2035 by Councilmember Evans. Resolution recognizing Phil and Dot Potter on their 90th birthday. Councilmember Evans, you're recognized.
Thank you. I'd like to move approval, please.
Okay. So I need a report from Rules Committee. Councilmember Rosenberg.
Thank you, Mr. President. Rules voted 4 in favor, none against.
All right, Councilmember Evans, back to you.
I'd like to renew my move for approval.
Okay. All right. Murphy rule? All right, so the Murphy rule is in effect, which means that everybody voting in the affirmative will be listed as a sponsor on this one. This is the resolution, again, recognizing Phil and Dot Potter on their 90th birthday. All right, we're on RS 2023-2035. Proper motion, proper second. All those in favor of the resolution say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The resolution is adopted. I believe that completes the consent calendar and resolutions that were not on consent calendar. All right, we are now on bills on introduction and first reading. We can take them all together. Does anything need to be bumped off? Seeing none, can I get a motion to approve all bills on? Councilmember Swope moves. Proper second. We're going to take all of the bills at the same time. All those in favor of all bills on introduction and first reading say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. You adopt. Councilmember Toombs is going to deal with bills on second reading.
No problem.
You've got a couple bills up there, but I think you can handle them.
Yeah, I think they're fine.
All right, I'm going to go through the items that are on second reading consent. If anything needs to be pulled off, let me know. Bill 2023-1689, 1692, 1693, 1694, 1695, 1696, 1697, 1698, 1699, 1700, 1701, 1702, 1703, 1704, 1705, 1706, and 1707. Is that everything except for the first one? All right, does anything need to come off of second reading consent? All right, I don't see any hands, so I'll read the captions. Item number 41, Bill 2023-1689, sponsors Parker, an ordinance creating a permit program for parklets and streeteries in Davidson County and establishing a fee structure for such licenses. Item number 42, Bill 2023-16. What's not on consent? 42. Okay. Item 43, Bill 2023-1692, Sponsors Withers and Pulley, an ordinance adopting the geographic information system street and alley centerline layer with the recordation of renaming, additions, and deletions of acceptances and abandonments as reflected on the centerline layer to date as the official street and alley acceptance and maintenance record for the metropolitan government of Nashville and Davidson County. Item number 44, Bill 2023-1693. Sponsors Cash, an ordinance providing the honorary street name designation of 1 Vanderbilt Way for the entirety of Kirkland Circle. Bill 2023-1694, an ordinance approving an agreement between the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County, acting by and through the Metropolitan Nashville Police Department and Airbus Helicopters, Inc. for the lease of an MMPD helicopter to be used at the HAI Heli Expo 2023 show. Sponsors Roten and Syracuse. Item number 46, Bill 2023-1695, sponsors Toombs, Roden, Withers, and Pulley, an ordinance authorizing the granting of temporary construction easements to Piedmont Natural Gas Company, Inc. on certain property owned by the Metropolitan Government located at 0 Brookchurch Pike and 1354 Brookchurch Pike. Bill 2023-1696, an ordinance approving a contract between the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County and PSI Water Technologies, Inc. to provide microchlor on-site hypochlorite generation system parts and services. Sponsors Roten and Pulley. Item number 48, Bill 2023-1697, sponsors O'Connell, Withers, and Pulley, an ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County to abandon existing public utility easement for property located at 730 8th Avenue South. Bill 2023-1698, sponsors Withers and Pulley, an ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County to accept new public sanitary sewer main, sanitary sewer manholes, and easements for property located at 3105 Hamilton Church Road, also known as Hamilton Church Road Sewer Extension. Bill 2023-1699, sponsors Withers and Pulley, an ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County to accept new public water and sanitary sewer mains, fire hydrant assemblies, sanitary sewer manholes, and easements for property located at 3161 Hamilton Church Road, also known as Grinstead Townhomes. Item number 51, Bill 2023-1700, sponsors O'Connell, Withers, and Pulley, an ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County to accept new water and sanitary sewer main, fire hydrant assembly, and sanitary sewer manhole for property located at 825 6th Avenue South, also known as Madeira Sobro Phase 1. Item number 52, Bill 2023-1701, sponsors Cash, Withers, and Pulley, an ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County to abandon public fire hydrant assembly for property located at 1215 21st Avenue South. Item number 53, Bill 2023-1702, sponsors Parker, Withers, and Pulley, an ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County to abandon existing public water main and easements and to accept new public water main for properties located at 1233 East Leachy Avenue and 1300 North 5th Street, also known as Starlet East Townhomes. Item number 54, Bill 2023-1703, sponsors Toombs, Withers, and Pulley, an ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County to abandon existing water mains, fire hydrant assemblies, and easements, and to accept new public water mains, fire hydrant assemblies, sanitary sewer manhole, and easements for property located at 334 Ewing Drive, also known as Ewing Heights. Item number 55, Bill 2023-1704, sponsors Withers and Pulley, an ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County to accept the relocation of existing public water main for property located at 1421 Rural Hill Road, also known as Novo Antioch. Item number 56, Bill 2023-1705, sponsors Withers and Pulley, an ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County to accept new public water main and fire hydrant assembly for property located at 1631 Corporate Place. Item number 57, Bill 2023-1706, sponsors Gamble, Withers, and Pulley, an ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County to accept new public water and sanitary sewer mains, fire hydrant assemblies, sanitary sewer manholes, and easements for property located at 3500 Brookchurch Pike, also known as Thornton Grove Phase 4. And item number 58, Bill 2023-1707, sponsors Sledge, Withers, and Pulley, an ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County to accept new public sanitary sewer main and sanitary sewer manhole for property located at 600 Southgate Avenue. Does anything need to come off of consent? Councilwoman Swar.
Thank you. Item 45, 1694, please.
Okay. Does anything else need to come off of consent? All right, committee reports. Budget and Finance, Councilman Roten.
Thank you, Madam Pro Tem. 1689, we approved 15 in favor, 0 against. 1695, we approved 15 in favor, 0 against. 1696, 15 in favor, 0 against.
Planning and Zoning, Councilman Withers.
Thank you, Madam Pro Tem. Planning and Zoning met and considered ordinances BL 2023-1692, 1695, 1697, 1698, 1699, 1700, 1701, 1702, 1703, 1704, 05, 06, and 07, and we recommended each of those 10 in favor, 0 against, 0 abstentions.
All right, Transportation and Infrastructure, Councilman Pulley.
Thank you, Madam Pro Tem. Transportation Infrastructure recommended approval of BL 2023-1689, 1692 through 1693, and 1695 through 1707. 11 in favor, 0 against, and I move approval of the second reading consent agenda.
All right, is there a second? It's been properly moved and seconded. All in favor, aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. So going back to the items that were not on consent, item number 40, Bill 2022-1449, sponsors O'Connell, Parker, Benedict, and others. An ordinance creating Chapter 2.153 of the Metropolitan Code of Laws, establishing a bicycle and pedestrian advisory commission. Okay. Councilman O'Connell, I'm hearing that it's an automatic deferral.
That is what I have heard as well, Madam Chair.
All right, and that's one meeting, right? Okay, automatic deferral for one meeting. The only other item is item number 45, all right? 42. Oh, 42, sorry. Item number 42, Bill 2023-1690, sponsors Syracuse, Roten, and Pulley, an ordinance amending the Metropolitan Code of Laws to establish a stormwater capacity fee. Councilman Syracuse.
Thank you, Pro Tem. Committee reports, please.
Councilman Roten.
Like deja vu, I've already given this, but the amendment was approved, 15 in favor, 0 against, and the bill was approved, 15 in favor, 0 against.
Back to you, Councilman Syracuse.
Thank you. I'll move approval with brief comment.
All right, is there a second? It's been properly moved and seconded. Back to you, Councilman Syracuse.
Thank you, Pro Tem. So this is an effort that has been underway for about 3 years now. This is kind of a game-changing private-public partnership between the development community and Metro Water. So as we all know, and we've heard probably in projects in our district, it takes a long time sometimes for Metro Stormwater to review projects. So this is a win-win for both sides. Because as we know, when you develop on your piece of property, you have to improve that infrastructure on that piece of property. But from the public engineer perspective, they have to look at the whole system, how it connects to it, and plan for future improvements to ensure that that downstream infrastructure is capable of handling the additional load to it. So the development community gets a win out of this because they asked, charge me a fee, just like we do a Metro water capacity fee, charge me a stormwater capacity fee. It shortens the length of time that Metro has to review a project. It moves a lot quicker, and then we have a pool of money to proactively start identifying and addressing these downstream infrastructure needs. So I ask for your approval. Thank you.
And Councilman Syracuse, are you moving your amendment? Yes, Councilman Pulley.
Didn't want to interrupt that eloquent speech by Councilman Syracuse, but would you like the committee report from Transportation?
Yes, I would.
Transportation recommended approval of the proposed amendment, 11 in favor, 0 against, and then recommended approval of the bill as amended, 11 in favor, 0 against. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Syracuse, do you want to move your amendment?
And I do apologize. Yes, I want to move the amendment with a brief comment to explain it. Sorry. I was speaking on the whole bill. My bad.
All right. It's been properly moved and seconded. Councilman Syracuse?
This is kind of a housekeeping amendment. It adds some whereas clauses that brings clarity better between the development community and Metro about how this works procedurally. So it just updates some whereas clauses.
All right. We are on the amendment. Is there any discussion? I don't see anyone in the queue. All those in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Councilman Syracuse, we're back on your bill as amended.
Thank you. Move as amended, and I won't give a speech this time. Thank you.
Seeing no one in the queue, all those in favor, aye. Opposed, no. Any abstentions? Motion carries. All right, item number 45, Bill 2023-1694, sponsors Roten and Syracuse, an ordinance approving an agreement between the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County, acting by and through the Metropolitan Nashville Police Department and Airbus Helicopters, Inc., for the lease of an MMPD helicopter to be used at the HAI Heli Expo 2023 show. Councilman Roten.
I will do my first committee report. Budget and Finance approved this, 15 in favor, 0 against. And
Councilman Syracuse.
Thank you.
Public Health and Safety.
Public Health and Safety considered Bill 2023-1694, recommended approval, 6 in favor, 0 against.
Back to you, Councilman Roten, for a motion.
thank you, Madam Pro Tem. I would move approval, and I would defer any questions to our learned counsel or the administration.
All right, it's been properly moved and seconded. Councilwoman Swarer for discussion.
Thank you, Chair. I just have a couple of questions, but you can roll it into one. I wanted to know how long the expo is, and I wanted to know, does that expose us in any way? Because, I mean, we spent money to buy those 2 helicopters because the ones that we had were old, and now that we have them, can we afford to leave them unused for how long? So just curious about that.
All right, going over to the administration.
Thank you, Councilmember. The expo is a 5-day long period. As part of the agreement, Airbus had to agree to provide 2 insurance policies in the amount of $10 million and $7 million, respectively, for all liabilities. You'll recall that the acquisition was approved by this body. There was a fairly dramatic demonstration out on the front lawn with one of these helicopters. The agreement with Airbus, they just need it for demonstration at this expo that's being held down in Atlanta. For every flight hour that it takes to get there, we're going to be paid $1,200, and then $1,200 per additional day that the helicopter just sits in this expo center. They're feeding, housing the 2 employees that will fly it down there, and then we get those that monetary credit because we do rely on Airbus for parts, equipment, and service and so forth, and so we trade it out that way. It's a advantage for the police department, and they heartily recommend it.
And so the police department felt like in those 5 days, we would not be in need of that helicopter.
That is true. If, in fact, there was a need for the helicopter, it could be here in about 40 minutes.
40 minutes?
I think so. It moves fairly rapidly.
Absolutely. But we have another one. I'm just thinking about an emergency, and I remember the conversation before we approved it on the need for it, and it saves life and what we can do with it. And so now that we have it, I just want assurance that in those 5 days, we're not leaving something for, the money is great, don't get me wrong, but I'm thinking about the life and the people and what we needed it for our citizens.
It can be rapidly deployed to return back to Nashville in the event of an emergency.
Thank you.
All right, seeing no one else in the queue, Councilman Roten.
I renew my motion.
All right, it's been properly moved and seconded. Seeing no further discussion, all those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Any abstentions? Motion carries, and that completes our bills on second reading.
Get yourself some king cake. All right. All right, we are now on third reading. Bills on third reading. I'm on page 19 of my calendar. It starts with item number 59. I'm going to go through bills that are on consent. Item number 60 is the first one on consent. Item number BL 2022-1481 is on consent. 1482 is on consent. 1508 is on consent. 1570 is on consent. That's item number 64. Let's see. Item number 66, 1609 is on consent. Item 68, 1628 is on consent. Item number 69, 1629 is on consent. Item number 73, BL 2022-1645 is on consent, and 1646 is on consent. 1649 is on consent.
Yeah, that was.
1662 is on consent. 1663 is on consent. 1664 is on consent. 1665 is on consent. 1666 is on consent. 1667 on consent. 1668 on consent. 1670, item number 86, 1670 is on consent. 1671 is on consent. 1672 is on consent. 1673 is on consent. 1674 is on consent. 1675 on consent. 1676 on consent. 1677 on consent. Item number 94, 1678 is on consent. 1679 on consent. 1680 is on consent. 1681 is on consent. 1683, item number 98 is on consent. 1684 is on consent. 1685 on consent. 1686 on consent. And 1687 is on consent. Councilmember Johnston.
Number 77 wasn't listed, or 1661 wasn't listed on consent, but it looks like a companion bill to something, so I'm wondering if that should also be on consent.
Yeah, we were looking at that. I was looking at that when I went through it. Do you have any idea? It's item number 77, Bill 2023-1661. It's a companion bill to 1600, which. Okay, so that's why I pulled it off. All right, so Bill, it's 1600, which is the companion bill. It's item number 65.
Oh, and it's not on consent.
It's not on consent,
Okay,
so
gotcha,
they just
sorry.
pulled them both. That's okay. All right, anything else needs to be pulled off? All right. All right, here we go. Item number 60, BL 2022-1481 by Councilmember Toombs, ordinance to amend Title 17 by amending a specific plan on various properties located southeast of Buena Vista Pike, intersection of Buena Vista Pike and Cliff Drive. Item number 61, that's the companion bill, BL 2022-1482 by Councilmember Toombs, ordinance to authorize building material restriction requirements for BL 2022-1481, proposed specific plan zoning district. The proposed ordinance requires certain materials to be restricted in the construction of buildings. Item number 62, BL 2022-1508 by Councilmember Toombs. It's an ordinance amending section 17.08.030, 17.16.030, 17.16.160 of the Metropolitan Code zoning regulations to change the multifamily use in the IWD industrial warehouse distribution and IR industrial restrictive zoning districts from being permitted with conditions to requiring a special exception. Item number 64, BL 2022-1570 by Councilmember Taylor and Withers. It's an ordinance to amend Title 17 by changing from RM20 to SV zoning for a portion of property located at 3138 and property at 3140 Parthenon Avenue. It's approximately 119 feet east of Oman Street. Item number 66, BL 2022-1609 by Councilmember Parker. Ordinance amend Title 17 by change from MULA to SP zoning for property located at 2631 and 2635 Gallatin Avenue, corner of Carolyn Avenue and Gallatin Pike. Item number 68, BL 2022-1628 by Councilmember Van Reese and Allen. Ordinance amend Title 17 by changing from RS10 and RM20 ANS zoning, property located at 105 Hart Lane, approximately 390 feet east of Dickerson Pike. Item number 69, BL 2022-1629, that's the companion bill to 1570, ordinance to authorize building material restrictions requirements for BL 2022-1570, proposed specific plan zoning district. Proposed ordinance requires certain materials to be restricted in the construction of buildings. That's Taylor and Withers are the sponsors. Item number 73, BL 2022-1645 by Council members Van Reese and Allen. Ordinance to amend Title 17 by amending a specific plan district on property located at the southwest corner of Creative Way and Inspiration Boulevard, increase the allowed square footage of non-residential uses within the mixed-use development. Item number 74, BL 2022-1646 by Councilmember Hall. Ordinance to amend Title 17 by changing from RS40 to AR2A zoning for property located at Clarksville Pike, numbered at the southwest corner of Coles Lane and Clarksville Pike. It's 3 acres. Item number 76, BL 2023-1649 by O'Connell, Withers, and others. Ordinance to amend the GIS system street and alley centerline layer for the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Madison County by renaming Lifeway Plaza between Reverend Kelly M. Smith Way and the 12th Avenue North, 14th Avenue North intersection at Josephine Holloway Avenue. Next item is item number 78, BL 2023-1662 by Councilmember Toombs. Ordinance to amend Title 17 of the Metropolitan Code by changing from IWD to MUG-ANS zoning for properties located at 240 and 250 Venture Circle. Item number 79, BL 2023-1663 by Councilmember Lee. Ordinance to amend Title 17 by changing AR2A to SP zoning for property located at 3834 Pinhook Road, approximately 390 feet west of Lakewood Village Drive. Item number 80, the companion bill, BL 2023-1664. That's the ordinance to authorize building material restrictions requirements for BL 2023-1663. Proposed specific plan zoning district. Proposed ordinance requires certain materials to be restricted in the construction of buildings. Item number 81, BL 2023-1665 by Councilmember Gamble. Ordinance to amend Title 17 by changing from R10 to SP zoning for property located at 633 West Green Lane at the southwest corner of West Green Lane and White Street Pike. And the companion bill by Councilmember Gamble, BL 2023-1666. Ordinance to authorize building material restrictions requirements for BL 2023-1665. Proposed specific plan zoning district. Proposed ordinance requires certain materials to be restricted in the construction of buildings. BL 2023-1667 by Councilmember Toombs. Ordinance to amend Title 17 by changing from RS10 to RM15 ANS for property located at 1918 South Hamilton Road, southeast corner of River Drive and South Hamilton Road. BL 2023-1668 by Councilmember Roberts. An ordinance to amend Title 17 by changing from CS to OR20A zoning for property located at 6104 Cowden Avenue, approximately 96 feet west of Marcia Avenue. Next item is item number 86, BL 2023-1670 by Councilmember Syracuse. It's an ordinance to amend Title 17 by changing from R10 to SP zoning for property located at 110 Fairway Drive, approximately 800 feet north of Lebanon Pike. Companion Bill BL 2023-1671, ordinance to authorize building material restrictions and requirements for BL 2023-1670. Proposed specific plan zoning district located at 110 Fairway Drive. The proposed ordinance requires certain materials to be restricted in the construction of buildings. 88, BL 2023-1672 by Councilmember Sledge. An ordinance to amend Title 17 by changing from IR to MULA-NS zoning for property located from 492 Craighead Street, approximately 125 feet west of Oceanside Drive. It's 5.8 acres. BL 2023-1673, item number 89 by Councilmember O'Connell. Ordinance to amend Title 17 by amending specific plan for properties located at 1801, 1803A, 1803B, 5th Avenue North, and 502A, 502B, and 502C, Buchanan Street, northwest corner of Buchanan Street and 5th Avenue North, Zone SP. Item number 90, this is the companion bill, Bill 2023-1674, ordinance authorized building material restrictions requirements for BL 2023-1673, proposed specific plan zoning district, proposed ordinance requires certain materials restricting the construction of buildings. Item number 91 by Councilmember Parker, BL 2023-1675, an ordinance to amend Title 17 by changing from CN to RS5 to MUNA NS zoning for properties located at 500 East Trinity Lane, Edwin Street, unnumbered. Item number 92, BL 2023-1676 by Councilmember Toombs, ordinance to amend Title 17 by applying a neighborhood conservation zoning overlay district, various properties located on Lathan Court and Young's Lane Zone R6 and R8. Item number 93, BL 2023-1677 by Councilmember Syracuse, ordinance to amend Title 17 by changing from OR20 and R10 to MULA NS zoning for properties located at 117, 119, 121 Fairway Drive, approximately 325 feet north of Lebanon Pike. Item number 94, BL 2023-1678 by Councilmember Welsh, ordinance to amend Title 17 by changing from RS 7.5 to R8A zoning for property located at 465 Radnor Street, approximately 275 feet east of Meade Avenue. BL 2023-1679, item number 95 by Councilmember Parker, ordinance to amend Title 17 by changing from IWD to RM20A NS zoning for properties located at 836 and 838 Cherokee Avenue. Item number 96, BL 2023-1680 by Councilmember Sepulveda, an ordinance to amend Title 17 by changing from CS and R6 to SP zoning for properties located at 4612 Nolensville Pike and Nolensville Pike unnumbered, and a portion of property located at 4608 Nolensville Pike, approximately 235 feet east of Taylor Road, 7.15 acres, and the companion bill, BL 2023-1681, also by Councilmember Sepulveda, an ordinance to authorize building material restrictions requirements for BL 2023-1680, proposed specific plan zoning district located at 4612 Nolensville Pike and Nolensville Pike unnumbered. The proposed ordinance requires certain materials to be restricted in the construction of buildings. Item number 98, BL 2023-1683 by Councilmembers Royton, Syracuse, and others, an ordinance approving an amendment to a lease agreement between the Metropolitan Government and Meharry Medical College relating to the land and improvements used in the operation of Nashville General Hospital. Item number 99, BL 2023-1684 by Councilmembers Taylor, Roten, and others, ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan Government by and through the Department of Parks and Recreation to swap 3140 Parthenon Avenue and a portion of 3138 Parthenon Avenue for 3136 Parthenon Avenue to allow for a future expansion of the Centennial Dog Park. Taylor, Roten, and others. Item number 100, BL 2023-1685 by Murphy and Rosenberg, ordinance readopting the Code of the Metropolitan Government prepared by Municipal Code Corporation, including supplemental and replacement pages thereof, containing certain ordinances of a general and permanent nature enacted on or before August 17, 2022. Item number 101, BL 2023-1686 by Councilmembers Toombs, Gamble, and others, ordinance authorizing the granting of permanent and temporary construction easements to Piedmont Natural Gas Company on certain property owned by the Metropolitan Government. And item number 102, BL 2023-1687 by Councilmembers O'Connell, Withers, and Pulley, an ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan Government to accept new public sanitary sewer manholes for property located at 910 Commerce Street, also known as Nashville Yards, parcel number 9. That is it. I heard a motion to approve everything. All right, so anything needs to be bumped off this calendar? Anything needs to be bumped off the consent calendar? All right, let's see. I believe we have a long committee report from Councilmember Withers. It's like 3 pages long. Councilmember Withers, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Planning and zoning met and considered 1481 as amended, 1482, 1508, 1609, 1628, 1645, 1646, 1662, 1663, 1664, 1665, 66, 67, 68, 1670, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, and 80, and 81. And we recommended each of those 10 in favor, 0 against, 0 abstention.
All right. Motion to approve?
So moved.
Councilmember Withers moves the bills on third reading consent calendar, properly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, ready to vote. All those in favor of the third reading consent agenda say aye. Opposed, no. You adopt. All right, we are now on item number 59, Bill 2022-1471 by Councilmembers Parker and Welsh. Ordinance to amend section 16.24.030 and 17.04.060 of the Metropolitan Code of Laws to amend the definitions of dwelling unit and family. Councilmember Parker, you are recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I would like to move the bill and ask the planning table to give us an explanation of the bill, please.
All right, let me get the committee reports in first, and I'll come back to you. Government Operations, Councilmember Benedict.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. We have some amendments here. I guess what I'm going to do, it passed as substituted with Amendment 1, 4 in favor, 3 against.
Amendment number 1, okay. Is that it?
The bill passed as substituted with Amendment 1, and then we did vote on the other amendments, just aside.
Okay. What were the votes on that?
So Amendment 2 was 3 for, 3 against, and 1 not voting?
All right, let's say that again. 3 for, 4 against, and 1 not voting?
No, 3 and 1.
3 and 1, okay.
And Amendment 3 was 3 in favor, 4 against.
Okay. And what was the vote on Amendment number 1?
3 in favor, 3 against, and 1 not voting.
That was on the First Amendment?
That's right.
Okay. And then did you vote on the substitute? You voted on it as substituted with?
Amendment 1.
Okay, so you put Amendment 1 on it, even though it was 3 and 1?
We followed what was done in the planning committee meeting. There, look at what I did.
All right, so you just cheated off of planning. Is that what it was? Okay.
Is that what it's called? When you look at the desk of the other person next to you?
Well, you just kind of watch it on television, then you do what you're supposed to. All right, so did you all pass this one out of committee with a vote?
We passed as substituted with Amendment 1, 4 in favor, 3 against.
Okay, got it. All right. Now, Councilmember Withers, planning.
I'm the one who's caused all this confusion. I apologize. So at our last meeting, we had recommendations on the amendments, but we deferred the bill rather than take a vote on it at that time. So do you need me to repeat what those past votes were on the amendments?
Yeah.
So at our prior meeting, Amendment 1 was recommended 8 in favor, 1 against, 0 abstentions. Okay. Amendment 2, we had 3 in favor, 5 against, and 1 abstention. Amendment 3, we had 2 in favor, 7 against, and no abstentions.
Okay.
So that was our prior vote. So during our committee today, we recommended the bill with Amendment 1, 7 in favor, 3 against, 1 not voting.
Okay. All right. Now, Councilmember Parker, back to you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I would like to go over to the planning table if we can for an explanation of the bill as substituted.
Ms. Milligan, you're recognized.
Sure. So as substituted, the bill does several things. The first thing is it changes the definition of a family. Right now, the code as currently adopted includes several categories that fall under definition of a family. Those are any number of related persons, 3 unrelated persons, a group of 8 persons that fall under the state definition of, and it's tied to ADA with house parents, and then an individual also would be considered a family. So this would modify the definition of a family to indicate that the unrelated persons that could be constituted as a family would be as amended at 5. The bill as substituted is 7. The amendment proposal is at 5. And so that would increase the number of unrelated individuals that would be considered a family from 3 to 5 per Amendment 1. It also specifies that grouping can include a combination of related and unrelated persons. We've had conversations and there have been questions related to if a married couple could have a roommate under the current code, even though they are only 3 individuals, that would not be allowed because a married couple is a family, so you could not add an additional person. And so this would make that maximum number be, it could be a combination of related and unrelated, so we get sort of past that, that roadblock there. Another thing that the bill does is in conversations with codes and Metro Legal, it modifies the definition of a dwelling unit to indicate that a dwelling unit is intended for one family. Right now in the code, you have definition of a family, you have different variations of dwelling unit types by family, single family, two family, multifamily, but there's not really a tie or a link between the definition of a dwelling unit and the definition of a family. And so this adds to that definition of a dwelling unit to indicate that it is for one family. And so that was something that we worked on with the Metro Legal. They indicated that that would help in enforcement cases if that language was more clear and those things were tied together. And I think that's it.
All right. Councilmember Parker.
Thank you for that explanation. And so what I'd like to do at this point is follow through with the recommendations of the codes and planning committees and move Amendment 1.
All right. So Councilmember Parker is moving amendment number 1 on BL 2022-1471 for passage. That's the motion, properly seconded. Back to you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. So an explanation of the amendment, the only thing that changes from the substitute as planning recommended is planning recommended allowing up to 7 unrelated individuals in a dwelling unit. This lowers that down to 5. Heard a lot of feedback from folks out in the community. We had a great meeting with Neighbor to Neighbor. I've worked with the Greater Nashville Realtors Association to come to 5 as sort of a compromise between the existing code and what planning recommended. And so I would strongly encourage colleagues to vote for Amendment 1 here to lower that number to 5.
Okay, we are, so the motion is to approve amendment number 1. I've got people in the queue. Councilmember Benedict on the amendment.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. So on everybody's desk, there is a document that's got 4 properties from District 7 listed on it. And it's something that I received via text sometime back, that photo exactly. And in it, the individual who sent that actually said, I think going to 7 is insane. I think 4 to 5 unrelated individuals would be more palatable for neighborhoods. So I just wanted to call out that there's something on our desks and that the person that it originated from, at least on the text thread that I got, said that 4 or 5 would be a good idea, but the document on our desk has an amendment for fewer than this. So I think that 4 to 5, I'm a proponent of 7, but I think 5 is a good compromise number, which is what this amendment does. And I think that it's, going back to what we talked about originally in committee, my wife and I could not have a roommate right now under the current law. And however, if we got divorced, we could. So we're unrelated, and she might be watching tonight. I don't want a divorce, honey. What we're doing right now is really not allowing people to have access to housing. I'm a residential realtor, and I see people struggle with getting into housing every day. Younger people today and people who want to live in Nashville, whose salaries haven't necessarily increased in order to keep up with inflation here, with housing costs here, are beginning to buy houses together. They want to have home ownership. They want to have their piece of the American dream. But their access, their ability to do that is by sharing a house amongst friends. Sometimes that takes 2 people, sometimes that takes 4 people. Sometimes it's 2 people in coupled relationships, unmarried. This bill will help redefine that in our code. And I think most importantly, so I think, this is about helping those folks gain access and building wealth. And without that, we're having a city full of housing for the haves, not for the have-nots. I think the other thing is that for me, this bill, my take on it from the beginning is that I think that a lot of this is already happening around the city. My wife and I had a roommate briefly because she had a reoccurrence of breast cancer and she needed a place to stay, and we let her live with us. We had no idea we were breaking the law. I think that these things are happening currently, and I think similar to the home business bill, it's a bit of a boogeyman. I think that we think that this is not happening and that it's going to open the floodgates to something, and I think that it's not going to do that. I think that this really is just going to clear up the language, and it's going to codify something that allows people to have access to affordable housing. I urge my colleagues to pass this amendment and pass the bill with the amendment. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Councilmember. Councilmember Johnston.
I don't know how we want to do this. There are two other amendments that do the same thing, with the exception of changing the number of unrelated people that can live together. So I don't know if we want to discuss all three amendments at the same time before we vote, or if we would just want to take each one of them. One of them is mine, so I don't know. I don't necessarily want to speak to this, but I don't know how.
Yeah, I think what we do is we'll take his amendment first, discuss it, determine what happens with it, and then I'll come to you next. Okay. Councilmember Pulley, the same thing? Councilmember Pulley?
Yeah, the same thing. I just wanted to see how we wanted to go about doing this, and you just clarified that for me.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Councilmember Sledge.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I'd rise in support of this amendment for a couple of reasons. So you'll remember when we first had kind of extended conversation in this body, I mentioned that I was uncomfortable with number 7. We have a lot of HPRs in District 17, and my concern was we opened it to 7, that the incentive, basically the market incentive, would be to max out both sides of HPRs, where essentially you had real infrastructure stresses where maybe the zoning was intended for 3 to 4 households or 3 to 4 family members and not 14 a lot. I think 5 is a good compromise. I represent a district that has the 5th highest number of renters per district in the county. So to previous speakers' points about this already happening, it's absolutely happening. Like, I can walk down the street and I know where 5 people are living in a single family house. That's not creating the stress on our system, but if we create a market incentive like we would have with the 7, then yeah, it absolutely would have stressed it. I do think 5 is a good compromise. I think we're pretty much all in agreement on the family definitions that need to change. And I will emphasize that I prefer this amendment over other ones that are in the packet because I do think it's a good compromise. I do think it addresses what's already going on. I think we do have 5-member households that are living and thriving today, and we can continue to do that. And that we do need to acknowledge that in some instances where there are 3 and 4 bedroom places being built, if there is a need and a desire to have 5 unrelated persons there, there's not that stress on the system where we would have had from the previous legislation. So again, I support this amendment, and I ask colleagues to do the same. Thank you, Vice Mayor.
All right, thank you. Councilmember Young, recognized.
Previous question.
Councilmember Young has called the previous question. Remember, we're on discussion about amendment number 1. Voting on the previous question, though. All in favor of voting on the previous question, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Previous question prevails. We are on amendment number 1. Okay, we'll try it by voice vote first. We are voting on Councilmember Parker's amendment. It's amendment number 1. All those in favor of amendment number 1 say aye.
Vice Mayor. I'll vote on this.
Yeah. All right, Mr. Clerk. We're going to be voting on Councilmember Parker's motion to approve amendment number 1 to BL 2022-1471. Mr. Clerk, tell me when you're ready. Ready? Okay, so obviously if you're in favor of the amendment, you'd vote aye. If you're against it, you'd vote no. Mr. Clerk, open up the machines. Oh, Councilmember Swope? Oh, that's on purpose. All right, Slade. No. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Councilmember Swope will be recorded as no. All votes are in. Mr. Clerk, close machines, take the vote. This is on amendment number 1. Ayes 20, noes 16. I got Councilmember Swope's in there somewhere. No 16 and 0 abstentions. The amendment passes. All right. So, all right, we are now on, we're still on BL 2022-1471. It's now amended with amendment number 1. So there is an amendment number 2. It's Councilmember Johnston. I'm going to recognize her. Councilmember Johnston, you're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. So I have grave concerns about raising the number to any number, really. And I think that the vast majority of the people that have reached out to us via email feel the same way. I counted. I have 168 emails in my inbox from directly to me or to the entire council. Only 12 of those are in favor out of 186. 12 are in favor. That's 6%. I think we've talked about this in multiple committees, and we continue to get sort of conflicting information. Government ops was actually really eye-opening with Mr. Dodd today. I don't know that this solves anything, but it has the potential to create a lot of very serious problems for our neighborhoods, our neighborhood streets, our infrastructure. We have no way, Director Hall has already said it's really hard to enforce what's already on the books. And so to increase that number, I feel like we're sort of getting into that same cycle that happened with Airbnbs, where we expanded something and it really got out of control, and we had a massive negative impact from that because we don't have the infrastructure in place to enforce really anything at this moment, whether you're related, unrelated, any of it. What is enforced, I have got no idea. And I asked the question today, how are you going to enforce it, and didn't get an answer. They don't really have a way of enforcing that. And so I think before the other things that all these amendments do, which is related and unrelated are allowed to live with each other, and we're clarifying one dwelling unit. Nobody has a problem with that. All these amendments do that. My preference would be to hold back and not increase the number, leave it at 3, so we can put our infrastructure in place. When we see all the problems with our development now is because we don't have the infrastructure to support the development no matter what it is. We don't have the infrastructure to support the expansion of this number at this moment. The potential for harm to our neighbors, to the quality of life, is vast. This is the only tool that we have. Yes, it is happening. We know that. 100% it's happening for a multitude of reasons. If you're not causing a problem, you're not causing a problem. But if you are causing a problem, this is the only tool. And what we're doing is we're putting those homes into compliance, where we're removing the only tool that we have to protect the neighbors around them and the quality of life of the neighborhoods around them. What's appropriate in my district is not necessarily what's appropriate in District 16, District 19, District 1, District 35. We're all very, very different. And yet this is blanket policy across the entire county. It makes no sense. My needs are very, very different from Council Lady Porterfield's, Councilman Young. Why are we have so many questions and very few answers. And in fact, the more information that we get, the more questions we actually have about how to properly effectuate this and protect our neighborhoods and protect the people that we're supposed to be representing. Why would we do this when we know that we are not ready? Every single committee meeting that we have had, every discussion, people are looking around at each other because we get new information or it's conflicting information, and yet questions still remain. We are just not ready for this. Will we be? I hope so, because I do think it's appropriate at some point in the future to expand this number, but right now we are just not ready for it. Let's update what we know and what we all agree to, which is related and unrelated. Let's clarify one dwelling unit. But let's really work on making sure that when we expand this, that we're doing it in a responsible way. Because as we saw with the Airbnb legislation, multiple legislation, it can get away from you pretty quick, and it's really hard to roll it back. let's please walk gingerly with this, and I hope that you will agree with me and support my amendment that keeps this number at 3.
All right, so what we've got is Councilmember Johnston moving her amendment number 2, properly seconded. I've got people in the queue. Councilmember Pulley on this? Okay. Councilmember Benedict on amendment number 2. Oh, hold on. All right, now, Councilmember Benedict. Previous question?
Previous question.
All right, so Councilmember Porterfield, for what purpose that motion takes precedence?
Point of order, Vice Mayor. I just have a procedural question. If this amendment passes, does that then supersede Councilmember Parker's amendment with the 5 people?
Yes, it does.
Okay, thank you, Vice Mayor.
Okay. All right. So Councilmember Benedict has called the previous question. We're on the previous question, not the amendment. All those in favor of the previous question say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Previous question prevails. All right. We are voting on amendment number 2. Councilmember Johnston, do you want us on the board? Okay. All right. Mr. Clerk, if you would, we're voting on amendment number 2. Obviously, if you're in favor of Councilmember Johnston's amendment, you'd vote aye. If you're opposed, you'd vote no. Before we Slade, we've got people in the queue. Do I need to clear that out? All right, hold on. Hold on. Not yet. Okay. All right, Mr. Clerk, open the machines. We're voting on a motion to adopt amendment number 2. Councilman Benedict? Remember, we're voting.
Yep. Can you clarify that the vote is for an amendment?
It's for amendment number 2. It's Councilmember Johnston's amendment.
Okay. And that, are you allowed to say what that does as compared to the amendment that already passed?
No, we're past that. We're now voting.
Cool. Thank you.
Councilor Van Rees? Okay. Mr. Clerk, close the machines, take the vote. Ayes 17, noes 19, 1 abstention. The amendment fails. All right. We are now on Councilmember Pulley. Councilmember Pulley is recognized for his amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. First of all, I do want to, when we get into issues where we're debating and we happen to be on opposite sides, I do want to recognize the sponsors' hard work A couple of really good things, I think, came out of this with the dwelling unit redefined and family defined, and that all came as a result of Councilman Parker's hard work, so I commend him for that. I also want to state that he's been steadfast in his rationale behind this and has maintained that throughout his entire sponsorship of this bill, and I respect and commend him for doing that as well. So I just simply disagree with the number. So I offer this amendment, which is amendment number 3. I do want to urge caution to my colleagues in looking at the Planning Committee's recommendation. This occurred during our previous meeting of the Planning Committee, and in the discussions of these amendments, both the question and the answer to what they were more confusing than clarifying. And I think the chair actually acknowledged that at the meeting this afternoon. So I would just urge caution in looking at their recommendation of the 3 amendments. Mine simply does the exact same thing as the other 2, and it keeps the dwelling unit definition, it keeps the family definition. It simply changes the number from 5 to 4 to give another alternative. I have issues in my district that are different than others, and we've had these things where we've had 4 and 5 people and more in houses, and some of the issues that they cause are things that can't be fixed by enforcement. We have 5 unrelated people living in a house that have 5 unrelated vehicles and 5 sets of friends, and they create a lot of issues on the neighborhood streets, which are small in my area, where all these vehicles are parked. And I do understand the perspective about creating more housing units. Of course, when you start talking about affordability, I know that Shawnee, Kansas is really not a necessarily comparable city, but what I would offer up is that recently they reduced their number to 3. And when I called the council member out there to find out why the council unanimously reduced that number, they were facing many of the issues that are brought up by not only constituents but other council members, to include developers coming in and adding more bedrooms and increasing the cost of housing stock there. So I just offer that up as another piece of information moving forward. So it looks like my time's about up. So I would move my amendment and urge you all to support that. Thank you.
All right, Councilmember Pulley has moved amendment number 3, properly seconded. Now, so we had people in the queue before when I had to clear it for the purposes of voting. I'm going to go through that list first. Councilmember Mendez, you're recognized.
Previous question.
Okay, so Councilmember Mendez has moved the previous question on this. We're just voting on the previous question. We're not voting on the amendment yet. All those in favor of the previous question say aye. Opposed, no.
No.
On the board. Mr. Clerk. This is just on the previous question, not on the amendment, okay? You got your cheat sheet? Okay, good. All right, ready? We are voting on the previous question, all right? So if you're ready to vote, you'd vote aye. If you're not ready to vote, you'd vote no. Mr. Clerk, open up those machines. You ready? All right, Mr. Clerk, close the machines, take the vote. 28, noes 9. I'll double check. Yeah. Yeah. All right. The motion, the previous question prevails. We are now ready to vote on Councilmember Pulley's amendment number 3. And because we've done this with everything else, we'll go on the board. We are ready to vote. Again, Councilmember Pulley moved his amendment, amendment number 3, properly seconded. If you're in favor of it, you vote aye. If you're against it, you vote no. Mr. Clerk, tell me when you're ready. All right, ready to go? Mr. Clerk, open up the machines. Voting on a motion to adopt amendment number 3. All votes are in. Mr. Clerk, close the machines, take the vote. Ayes 24, noes 13. Councilmember Pulley's amendment prevails. So I'll make sure I've got this with the director. That takes the place of the First Amendment. So we are now on BL 2022-1471, and it's got the Third Amendment on, which takes the place of the First Amendment. Councilmember Parker, you're recognized. Oh, sorry. There you go. All right, Councilmember Parker.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I would like to defer 2 meetings unless that is a spring break week. I'm not sure when that occurs.
I mean, if you're asking whether it's spring break, we don't know. But, so, Councilmember Parker, you can move. You want to move 2 meetings.
2 meeting deferral,
which would make it March 21st. It's not spring break.
Second meeting in March.
Okay, so the motion is to defer to the second meeting in March, properly seconded. Discussion on the deferral motion. Councilmember Johnston?
I don't know what the purpose of the deferral is. I think we've discussed this ad nauseum. I think we know exactly where we are. I think the deferral is just an attempt to not have the bill be defeated, possibly. I think it's time we've talked about, it's been deferred how many times? This is a 2022 bill. We've had multiple amendments. Again, we've talked about it ad nauseum. We've had multiple committee meetings. We've had multiple departments talk about it. I'm voting against the deferral. Let's vote this up or down and be done with it, please.
Okay, let me go through. I see Councilman Rosenberg's hand, but I've got people in the queue. I'm not sure if that was for the bill. I'm not sure. Councilmember Porterfield on the deferral? Not on the deferral? Okay. Councilmember Nash on the deferral motion? Okay. Councilmember, well, let me go back to Councilmember, I'll come back to you in just a minute. You've already talked on it. Councilmember Sledge on the deferral motion? Councilmember Rosenberg on the deferral motion?
I wasn't your first choice, but I'm glad I'm your last choice. Thank you. I'm supporting the deferral motion. We had somebody get up earlier and say that we were moving on this too quickly. I think this is an opportunity. The bill wouldn't fail tonight. The amendment just got 24 votes. But if the sponsor wants to give us time to have another look at it and make sure everybody's comfortable with it, I support that. And there's no danger here. So I'm a yes on the deferral.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Benedict on the deferral?
Yes, thank you, Vice Mayor. So I am in favor of the deferral motion. I think in government operations this afternoon in committee, a number of questions came up in regards to looking at this maybe with bedrooms, similar to how short-term rentals, so there's, anyway, my point there is that some questions came up in government operations committee, and so I think a deferral is a great opportunity. We continue to have 45-minute conversations every time that this comes up in committee. So it seems to me that there's still work that needs to be done. So with that, I would absolutely be in support of the deferral. And I also would love to work with the codes department to see what kind of enforcement we might be able to do for, well, anyway, I'm gonna come back to that point another time. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right. Councilor Vercher.
Vice Mayor, if this bill needed this much work, we could have deferred it 20 minutes ago. That's all I'm going to say.
All right, thank you, council member. That's it in the queue. All right, so here's where we are. We have a bill before us, Bill 2022-1471, that has amendment number 3 on it. We have a motion to defer 2 meetings, which has been seconded. So we're on a deferral motion. It was a deferral motion for 2 meetings. That's what we're voting on. Let's try by voice vote. All those in favor of the deferral motion say aye. Opposed, no. I think we have to go on the board. All right, so it's a deferral motion of 2 meetings. Councilmember Parker has moved to defer this one 2 meetings. Ready to vote? All right, Mr. Clerk, open up the machines. You're voting on a motion to defer for 2 meetings. Where am I? Yeah. Okay. Mr. Clerk, close machines, take the vote. This is on the motion to defer. Ooh. Ayes 19, noes 18. So the deferral motion passes by 1 vote. Okay, so this one's deferred 2 meetings. All right. All right, the next bill up is item number 63. Bill 2022-1509 by Councilmember Syracuse. Ordinance amending Chapter 17.36 and 17.40 of the Metropolitan Code to create a 2-story residential overlay district. Councilmember Syracuse, you're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I have an amendment I'd like to move.
You got a Planning and Zoning Committee report. First, Councilmember Withers.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Planning and Zoning considered the bill and the amendment. We recommended the bill as amended, 10 in favor, 0 against, 0 abstentions.
All right, Councilmember Syracuse, back to you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Now I'd like to move the amendment, please.
All right, so Councilmember Syracuse is, we're on BL 2022-1509. He has an amendment. He's moving amendment number 1 to BL 2022-1509, properly seconded. Back to you for an explanation of the amendment.
Thank you. This simply removes the language about accessory dwelling aspects of the bill. This makes it even less restrictive. When you look at how to apply the accessory dwelling to this, it really doesn't make sense. Again, it kind of makes more sense in the contextual overlay, but this is a separate tool, so making it even less restrictive and more applicable to our post-World War II neighborhoods. So thank you. Move approval.
You've heard an explanation of the amendment. Any discussion on the amendment? All right, seeing none, we're on the amendment. All those in favor of amendment number 1 to BL 2022-1509 say aye. Opposed, no. The amendment's adopted. Councilor Syracuse, you're on your bill as amended.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Move approval as amended.
All right. Councilor Syracuse has moved BL 2022-1509 as amended for passage on 3rd reading. Properly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of the bill as amended for passage on 3rd reading say aye. Opposed, no. Bill passes on 3rd reading. All right, we are on item number 65, BL 2022-1600 by Councilmember O'Connell. Ordinance amendment Title 17 by change from CF to SP zoning for properties located 1503, 1509, 1511, 1515, and 1507 McGavick Street. It's 1.87 acres located at the southwest corner of 14th Avenue South and McGavick Street. And that can be taken with item number 97. I'm sorry, can't read my own writing. 77, BL 2023-1661, ordinance to authorize building material restrictions requirements for BL 2022-1600, proposed specific plan zoning district. Proposed ordinance requires certain materials to restriction the construction of buildings. Councilmember Connell, you're recognized on both those two bills.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to get committee reports, please.
All right, Planning and Zoning, Councilmember Withers.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Planning and Zoning met and considered BL 2022-1600 as well as 1661. We did consider the substitute as well and recommended approval of 1600 as substituted, 10 in favor, 0 against, 0 abstentions, and 1661, 10 in favor, 0 against, 0 abstentions.
All right, thank you. Councilmember O'Connell.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to move approval of like to move the substitute with a brief comment.
All right, Councilmember O'Connell has moved the substitute for BL 2022-1600. Properly seconded. Back to you for an explanation of the
Thank you, Mr. President. I will defer the planning table on the reason for the substitute.
Ms. Milligan, you're recognized.
The substitute adds the Planning Commission conditions of approval to the bill.
And we're to trust that? Is that right? Okay, great. All right. Councilmember O'Connell.
I rise in full support of Ms. Milligan, and I would like to move the substitute.
Okay. So Councilmember O'Connell moves the substitute on 1600. Again, it was properly seconded. Discussion on the substitute. Seeing none, ready to vote. All those in favor of the substitute say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Substitute's adopted. Now you're on your bill as substituted.
I'd like to move the bill as substituted and the companion, and there you go.
All right. So the motion is to approve BL 2022-1600 as substituted, and then BL 20. Okay.
Request for any other bills we could move at this time?
No, we were checking with the number. So it's the companion is BL 2023-1661, and the original bill is BL 2022-1600.
There was a weird timing issue here of having the materiality bills, so I understand the confusion, but we got the bills filed so that they could track together. Okay. But it was at the year boundary, so that explains the discrepancy.
All right, so the motion is to approve BL 2022-1600 as substituted and BL 2023-1661. That's the motion, again, properly seconded. Any discussion on those two bills? Seeing none, ready to vote. All those in favor of the two bills say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Both those bills pass. BL 2022-1600 is substituted and BL 2023-1661. All right, the next bill up is item number 67 by Councilmember Roberts, BL 2022-1619. It's an ordinance to amend Title 17 by changing from R6 to SV zoning for property located at 6111 Cowden Avenue, approximately 215 feet west of Marcia Avenue. It's 0.29 acres. Councilmember Roberts, this is a disapproved bill. You're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. I'd like to get committee reports.
Planning and Zoning, Councilmember Withers.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Planning and Zoning recommended a deferral for one meeting, 10 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting.
All right, Councilmember Roberts, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. I would like to defer for one meeting with a brief explanation.
All right, the motion is defer one meeting, properly seconded. Back to you.
So we listened to what was important to my constituents and to this body, and they have already put in the bike racks for this. They have already planned the trees that were going to be the barrier between. The last thing is a meeting with NDOT to put in a sidewalk, and it's going to be really, really hard. But that's what I heard you all wanted me to do, so that's what we're doing. But we haven't gotten the meeting with NDOT yet. So once that's done, I'll come back next meeting and hopefully ask for your approval.
All right, so the motion is to defer one meeting, properly seconded. Any questions on the deferral motion? Seeing none, all those in favor of the deferral motion say. Hold on, Councilmember Benedict, you're recognized.
Thank you, my button didn't come in time. For the sponsor, would NDOT also be willing to look at a crosswalk, a lighted crosswalk or beacon or something? So there is already, so just to make sure that the employees who were parking across the street can safely get across, that also would make it better for pedestrians on that high transit corridor with WeGo?
Councilmember Roberts?
So I did that 5 years ago. I put in a crosswalk.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, any other discussion? Seeing none, we're ready to vote on the deferral motion of one meeting. All those in favor of the deferral motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. This one's deferred one meeting. We're on item number 70, Bill 2022-1642 by Councilmembers Hall and Toombs, an ordinance to amend Title 17 by changing from CL, CS, and RS 7.5 to MULANS and RM20 ANS zoning for properties located at 4100 Clarksville Pike, approximately 550 feet south of Kings Lane and within the Clarksville Pike at Fairview Center Urban Design Overlay District. Councilmember Hall, you're recognized.
Committee reports, please.
Planning and Zoning, Councilmember Withers.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Planning and Zoning recommended a one-meeting deferral, 10 in favor, 0 against, 0 abstention.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Hall.
Meeting deferral.
All right, motion is to defer one meeting, properly seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor of the one meeting deferral say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. This one's deferred one meeting. Next one is BL 2022-1643 by Councilmember Hall and Toombs. Ordinance to amend Title 17 by canceling a portion of a planned unit development overlay district for a portion of property located at 4100 Clarksville Pike, approximately 550 feet south of Kings Lane, Zone CL. Councilmember Hall, you're recognized.
Committee reports.
Planning and Zoning, Councilmember Withers.
Planning and Zoning recommended a one-meeting deferral, 10 in favor, 0 against, 0 abstentions.
Councilmember Hall.
Sorry about that, Vice Mayor. We should have rendered both of those together. Okay. But one meeting deferral, please.
The motion is to defer one meeting, properly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of the deferral one meeting say aye. Opposed, no. This one's deferred one meeting. We're on BL 2022-1644 by Councilmember Syracuse. It's item number 72. This is an ordinance to amend Title 17 of the Metropolitan Code by amending a specific planned district on property located at 1908 Lebanon Pike and Lebanon Pike, unnumbered at the northeast corner of Omohundra Drive and Lebanon Pike, 5.92 acres. Councilmember Syracuse, you're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Committee reports, please.
Planning and Zoning, Councilmember Withers.
Planning and Zoning met and we considered the bill as well as the substitute and recommended approval of the bill as substituted, 10 in favor, 0 against, 0 abstentions.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Syracuse.
I will move that substitute. I thought it was just an amendment.
So I think we've listed it as a substitute.
Okay, move the substitute.
All right, Councilmember Syracuse moves the substitute, properly seconded. Back to you for an explanation of whatever you've got.
Sure, thank you. The substitute, I believe, is just from planning, just to apply the Planning Commission conditions to the bill. This bill really is just a slight amendment to the SP because they made a mistake. There was two housing types, townhome, 3-story townhome, and a single family, but they put the height at all 2 stories. So because this passed this body and signed by the mayor, it had to go right back through the whole thing. So there's no change to the development at all. It just amends the SP. Thank you. Move approval.
All right, Councilmember Syracuse moves approval of the substitute, properly seconded. Discussion on the substitute. Seeing none, all those in favor of the substitute say aye. Opposed, no. Substitute's adopted. Councilmember Syracuse, you're on your bill as substitute.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Move approval as substituted.
Councilmember Syracuse has moved approval of BL 2022-1644 as substituted, properly seconded. Discussion on the bill as substituted. Seeing none, all those in favor of the bill as substituted for passage on third and final reading say aye. Opposed, no. This one passes on third and final reading. Next bill up is item number 675, BL 2023-1648 by Councilmember Sledge, Withers, and others. Ordinance to amend the GIS systems and alley centerline layout for the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County by renaming Horton Avenue between 11th Avenue South and 18th Avenue South to D. Ford Bailey Avenue. Councilmember Sledge, you're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I just need to move for a one-meeting deferral with a brief explanation.
Okay, so the motion is to defer one meeting, properly seconded. Back to you.
Just had a meeting we had to reschedule, so going to do that before we come back to the body. So with that, I renew my motion.
Okay, so this one, the motion is to defer one meeting, properly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of the deferral motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. You adopt. Okay, next one up is 85. Next one up is number 85. It's Councilmember Swope, BL 2023-1669. Ordinance to amend Title 17 by amending a portion of a planned unit development overlay district for property located at 760 Old Hickory Boulevard, northwest corner of Brentwood Commons Way and Old Hickory Boulevard, 4.28 acres. Councilmember Swope, you're recognized.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd move an amendment.
All right. Committee report first. Councilmember Withers.
Planning and Zoning considered the amendment and recommended approval of the bill as amended, 10 in favor, 0 against, 0 abstentions.
Okay. All right, Councilor Swope.
I would renew my ask of moving the Amendment 1, which is a specific request of planning. It was originally meant to be part of the original legislation, but was left off.
All right. So Councilmember Swope moves his amendment, which he just explained, properly seconded. Discussion on the amendment. Seeing none, all those in favor of the amendment say aye. Opposed, no. All right, the amendment's on. Councilmember Swope.
I would move the bill as amended.
Councilmember Swope is moving Bill 2023-1669 as amended for passage on third and final reading. Properly seconded. Any discussion on the bill? Seeing none, ready to vote. All those in favor of Bill 2023-1669 as amended for passage on third and final reading say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Bill passes on third and final reading.
Thank you, sir.
And I believe the only thing we have left is item number 26, which is Councilmember Cash. RS 2023-2032 by Councilmembers Cash, Parker, and Johnston. Resolution requesting the Metropolitan Department of Codes Administration revise its landlord registration form to require a landlord to provide an acknowledgement the number of unrelated persons who may live together in a single dwelling unit. Councilmember Cash, you're recognized.
Thanks. Committee reports.
Government Operations, Councilmember Benedict.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. This passed committee 6 in favor, 0 against.
All right, Councilmember Cash, what do you want to do?
All right, thanks. I'd like to move the bill, but I'd like to discuss it.
Do you want to move the resolution for passage?
Yes, but with a brief comment.
Okay. All right. So there's a motion to approve RS 2023-2032, properly seconded. Back to you, Councilmember Cash.
All right, thanks. This is basically a request. I talked with Codes about it, and this is a request of Codes as landlords register with Metro Codes to be landlords, there's a form that they fill out, and this just basically asks Codes to add rules relating to occupancy so that landlords are aware of it. And this form does request a signature of them before they turn it in. And I don't know that this is a major enforcement piece that will, solve some of the enforcement or a lot of the enforcement stuff that we've talked about, as much as it'll make landlords aware of what the rules are, so those that aren't aware might be more prone to follow them. Just serves to get good legal info out there. I'm not sure by itself that would make violations easier to prove, but just might make landlords more aware and like I said, apt to follow them. I know that Codes kind of wants to understand what's happening with 1471 before they start work on this. They are open to doing this, I believe. So while I moved it, I'm open to discussion, and if their request to defer this and let it track with 1471 a little more, I'm open to that.
All right. Well, the motion right now is to approve RS 2023-2032. It's been properly seconded. Councilmember Allen, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. I just was going to move to defer to track with 1471 since that was the original plan.
All right. So the motion is to defer, so it would be 2 meetings. Properly seconded. Councilmember Cash, you want to be recognized on the deferral motion?
I'm happy to support that motion.
Okay, so the motion is defer. We've got people in the queue. Anybody want to? Councilmember Murphy? Too late on that. Councilmember Murphy?
I just wanted to I'm fine in deferring this to track, but I would like to hear from Codes. For example, when after my father's stroke and I became the liaison between the management company and him with his rental properties, I applied to be registered as a landlord because I thought that was the proper thing to do, and our management company doesn't do that. There was no option to pay the fee online, and there was no follow-up from Codes. And so I am sure that there are several people out there who would be registering as landlords, but Metro has no idea because our system, as usual with Codes, is not up to decent time. So I would like to know from Codes, how they actually register landlords, because I have attempted to do that and they don't. And so I appreciate that this deferral could give the opportunity for them to hopefully get their act together and actually register landlords.
All right. Thank you, Councilor Murphy. Now, Councilmember Swope.
Call a question.
Councilmember Swope has called the previous question. We'll do it by voice vote. All those in favor of the previous question say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Previous question prevails. We are voting on a motion to defer 2 meetings. That was properly seconded. All those in favor of the motion to defer 2 meetings say aye.
Yep. Aye.
Opposed, no. A motion to defer 2 meetings. And I believe, is that it? All right. I need
so moved.
I need a couple people up here before you leave. Councilmember Allen, Suara, Pulley, Syracuse. If you can stop up here for just a minute. I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Proper motion, proper second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of the adjournment motion say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. We stand adjourned.
And so the council has concluded about a 3-hour and 15-minute meeting tonight. Had an agenda that was 41 pages long, contained about 102 items. It included an additional public comment period tonight, sort of early. All those were invited to come in to speak tonight. We had about 20-some-odd people speak to the council, about 2 minutes each, giving their thoughts, ideas, and comments about the upcoming Metro operating budget to be considered by the council later this spring and summer. There'll still be a public hearing during that budget process, but last year the council started a tradition, they hope, of starting this early so they can get what the public's thinking about these things, and so they brought that in now for people to talk about that. We heard a lot of the usual comments about the need for affordable housing in the community, about better schools. We heard about supporting General Hospital. We also heard about more money for Metro employees, some sort of cost of living raise. But tonight what we heard, perhaps we had not heard before, was more money for the arts. In fact, it was like a command performance for most of the arts groups in Nashville. They were here tonight to speak on behalf of having more money after, they say, the last 20 years. Metro's involvement for the arts in terms of financial contributions has been flat. Now they want to take that up to about $30 million. I think it's about $20 million right now. What they'd like to do is have Metro contribute 1% of the total budget of Metro's operating budget plus the school's budget and give 1% of that. They think the number they kept using tonight was $30 million. Again, the council took no action about that tonight, but they did hear it. It's something they can think about as the budget process goes forward again as we come into the spring. Council also, or perhaps its highest profile vote tonight, was Mayor Cooper's $478 million capital spending plan. We had a focus on renovating and building several new schools, public safety projects, including a new juvenile justice center and a new juvenile justice campus, and also the new fire department headquarters. So the council deferred that meeting, that vote on this from 2 weeks ago for further study. Large member Bob Mendez first tried to cut $5 million out for planning for the various projects involved on the East Plant where the new Titan Stadium is going to be. Mendez opposes the stadium and said approving those funds now before the stadium is approved is just premature. Councilman Sean Parker and Emily Bennett thought the same thing. Councilman Parker, though, said that there are some monies in there for the East Bank, and he represents part of that have nothing to do directly with the stadium. He offered an amendment to the capital plan that would allow those monies to go forward, but no monies for the stadium to be spent out of the money at this point until the stadium is approved. That's what the council adopted tonight. Emily Benedict also offered an amendment to delete $1 million in funds for planning of a new Metro gun range and deleted $4 million. He tried to delete also $4 million for a new barn for Metro's mounted patrol. Those were both defeated by the council. The councilmember Benedict also wanted to add almost $29 million in funds for a new branch library in Inglewood in order to fund the things she was also trying to cut. That was ultimately withdrawn because she probably saw that she did probably not have the votes for that. Council also approved several other financial things that they had also mostly routine things, but I think they wanted to pass at the same time or not before they'd already done the capital plan. Council also appropriated about $16.8 million from the city's 4% equipment and repair fund. That's usually routine as well for approved projects, but they also amended to include some money. The council started doing some planning to renovate the second floor of the courthouse to include more committee rooms for the council and perhaps more office space for the staff. Council also accepted a $300,000 grant from the state to provide a mental health court program. This would establish a adult mental health court programs and treatment services for nonviolent offenders. They also, in terms of our rough winter on the roads, approved RS 2023-2025, which approved an agreement with TDOT to repair existing pavement failures and resurfacing about 6.66 miles of O'Hickory Boulevard running from the bridge over I-40 to Bell Road. Total cost estimate for that is about $717,000, and about 75% of that will be funded by TDOT, 25%, which is about $179,000, will be funded by NDOT, Nashville's Transportation Department. In the area of bike lanes, the council approved a 50-50 grant application to Bloomberg Philanthropies. The funds, $800,000 each from Metro and the state, would go for a consultant and technical assistance in finding creative solutions to deliver safer and more comfortable bike lanes. The bike lanes would be located between 12th Avenue South and 14th Avenue South, connecting to the Mumbria Hill Bike Path project. This is a request for a grant. The grant has not been approved yet, so the council hasn't approved those projects, but they're looking to see if they can get some money from the Bloomberg Philanthropies to move forward on it. Council also approved a resolution urging the Tennessee General Assembly to pass two bills that would require certain establishments to serve alcohol maintain at least one dose of Loxolone hydrochloric nasal spray on the premises. This can help save lives in terms of an overdose of drugs. On memorializing resolutions, the council honored the life of beloved civic leader A.V. Poster, recognized Phil and Dot Ponder on their 90th birthdays, and recognized Fisk University on being named HBCQ of the Year at the Black Sports Business Symposium. On second reading, the council also approved a bill that would set up rules and regulations and fees for parklets and streeteries in Davidson County. A parklet is defined as a small gathering place occupying up to 2 parking stalls or a loading zone on a public street and treated in all respects as a public sidewalk, the facilities of which are privately owned and maintained. Streetery is defined as up to 2 parking stalls or a loading zone using either an extension or a standalone sidewalk cafe connected visually to and used by the patrons of a nearby restaurant or bar service. On third reading, the council got into quite a discussion about what to do about a bill that changed the definitions of a dwelling unit and also a family under the city code. When this was the current law is you cannot have more than 3 people in a combination of married or unrelated in a dwelling at one time. The bill would have taken that number up to 7. The council had 3 different amendments to look at. First, they adopted one to take the number down from 7 to 5. Then they took it down to 4. At that point, after the council had been having quite a bit of debate, the sponsor decided he wanted to take time to think about that, wanted to defer the bill on third reading for two meetings till the second meeting in March. I think he was perhaps concerned whether he had 21 votes. And tonight's on third reading. It needed 21 votes to pass, or the bill would have failed. The amendment to defer the motion to defer for 2 meetings passed only 19-18 tonight. So this is a measure the council is still quite split about. We'll have to see what the council decides to do when it comes back up in a little over a month. The council is now in recess until the 21st of February. We will be here at that time to revive live coverage. Until then, I'm Pat Nolan, and good night from the council chambers. Tonight's Metro Council meeting has been a public press presentation of the Metro Nashville Network.
This has been a service of the Metro Nashville Network. If you would like to see this presentation again, or for more information on this and other programs, visit nashville.gov.